night we sit by the lonely fire, and the world is what we long to see. Yet true love is my desire. Yet true love is my desire. The sun, it shines on another day. Snow, it freezes us to the bone. Our silence is the cold price I pay. My words are for thine ears alone. My words are for thine ears alone. Sing ye worthy praise, while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hail as heroes divine, slaves of men, monsters felled by our might, dragons slain in their den, whisk the weak from their plight. No gold, my jewels, can I grant to thee. No, Lord, am I by right, but at journey's end I'll sing a melody to win your sweetheart by tonight, to win your sweetheart by tonight. Seek me worthy praise, while life is sweet on the vine. Full our It began with the suicide of Charles Blackwell, just days after his 55th birthday. Then the Rhineswan family massacre. 3 generations painfully passing from this world, crying the same crimson tears Blackwell had.
I sit alone on the edge of
5 members of the prominent Rhineswan family were found dead.
After that, the media finally gave their murderer a name. The Red Crier Killer.
Memento mori. Remember you will die.
Investigators believe the killer may be the same individual the media has dubbed the Red Crier.
Memento mori. Remember you will die. I know it's droll to sell my soul. I wanted to protect them though, but I couldn't even play my role. Now vengeance is my only goal. Memento mori. Too late for sorry. Now goodbye. Breath goes dry. I will cry when I remember you will die.
And good morning, best chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Delicious, malicious morning nonsense chat. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We got some stuff to talk about, chat, some stuff to dive into. Should be pretty fun, pretty interesting, I think. But welcome back, chat. Hope your wonderful, wonderful Monday wasn't so bad. Wasn't so bad. But welcome back, chat. Hope the Monday demon wasn't too cruel to you all. But welcome, hello to you. Hudson Bomb says, morning, folks. Says TDAC wasn't the best, but I've seen worse. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of modern day writing has the problem where they can't stick the landing. I will willfully rewatch Amazing Digital Circus. Has been a tell, on the other hand, it just cringed too much with the proper. The pilot of Has Been Hotel, I like quite a bit. I watched that quite a few times. It seemed far more balanced, and it seemed a lot more focused because we actually had like a little arc in that first episode of the pilot of Has Been Hotel, where they go from like, we have no idea what we're gonna do with this hotel, like how do we fund it? They kind of feel like they knew how to do everything. It's just like we have no funding, we have no like direction. People don't really like us that much, and we had the whole inside of every demon is a rainbow, and then everyone laughed at her, and then here, so down to the last thing they had was making a deal with Alistair. Right? That's how it goes. I think it's in the pilot. They kind of accept, hey, Alistair is now part of it. Alistair is now part of this whole thing. And we have to, because I remember commentating on this like a long time ago, where the whole thing is it's kind of parallel to the struggle of the indie artist, right? It's kind of like you go out there with your with a project of your heart, with your heart and soul. This beautiful project, beautiful vision. Yeah, and that's Charlie's vision too in the original pilot. It's like her vision is to save people from their own damnation, to get people redeemed and into heaven. It's a pretty good goal. Excellent goal, I would say. However, no one wants to hear it. No one wants to give it a chance. It is the struggle of the indie artist. It really is. Like, you have such good intent. You probably have a really good project in your hands, but no one wants to hear it. In fact, not only do people not want to hear it, they want to mock you and laugh at you and relentlessly tear you down, as opposed to supporting you. It's the plight of the indie artist. And then what are you left with? You're left with sacrificing and selling it out to an entity that will help you, right? Which is the corporate entity, which is Alistair in the pilot. Alistair kind of represents the parallel of the indie artist's submission to the investor. We'll say the corporate entity, the guy who has all this power, and it's so awesome too. Like if you remember the pilot, You she makes a deal with Alistair, and boom, everything comes to fruition. Like they get connections, they get I guess views, visions, people coming in, legitimacy. Everything looks professional now. They get new hires and everything. It's so good, but at the end, you are making a deal with the devil, because now it's no longer your vision alone. It is you're at the whims of these people. And if that sounds familiar, you're now at the whims of Alistair and his machinations. And if that sounds familiar, it just might be. It just might be that you've watched the menu, because that's also the message in the menu. Chef Slowick used to love cooking, but then he eventually grew to such an extent where he had to sell out. Essentially, that's kind of what happened in the same trajectory as Julian Slowick's backstory in the menu, is that he accepted the deal with these the critics. He accepted the deal with the big entities, the people that shot his name into the stars. And where that landed him, it landed him on an island where he's cold and bitter and hateful, that he is constantly focusing on artificially innovating, instead of doing things by heart, his emotion, doing things out of hunger, creativity. So that's kind of where it goes. Like he feels nothing. It's like Barbossa in the what's it called? Black Pearl, Curse of the Black Pearl, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I feel nothing. No, I know the taste of food, or the drink, the taste of drink, or whatever, or the breeze on our face. That's kind of what it becomes. You are still creating as an artist, but you're hollow. You feel nothing. That's kind of what it's like. That was the trajectory of the pilot and Hazbin Hotel, and that's what I really liked about it. And I thought it was going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be what a fantastic, really heartfelt show, at least from the pilot. But then the show actually came out, and I was like, okay, where's the ingenuity, the raw emotion, all this stuff that I found in the pilot? Now it's more focused on gay relationships and wars with heaven, and they don't even know how to redeem people. Like, what the hell is that? It's and Alistair is not even that bad of a guy. He's kind of like, he's helping them out. He's actually a benefit. It doesn't seem to be a downfall. It really should have been, the way the pilot set it up, it really should have been Charlie versus Alistair, but also they have to work together. Right? They have to work together, but also they're antagonistic toward each other. That would have been very interesting. And the idea of Charlie trying to redeem people and Alistair wanting to see them fail would definitely come into play, as they have competing visions, competing goals. But that would have been good, but I just didn't really like what it came out to be, because it felt very different than what the pilot had promised. But The Amazing Digital Circus gives you what it essentially promises for 8 episodes. It's a very interesting mystery. They get a little bit more information each time. Therapy sessions aside, the storyline was pretty interesting. The characters are really interesting. Same with Hazbin Hotel. Characters are really interesting. But Amazing Digital Circus had the benefit of having a really interesting mystery surrounding everybody, and the questions that need to be answered. Now the finale did answer a really good question, which was, are they real, or are they just brain scans, or AI trapped in the circus? And people might say, oh, they found out the brain scans, and that might be world shattering because they have these memories. The thing is, that's more positive. I think, because again, they could probably have an easier way of adapting after that information has come out, because they're not trapped in the circus. They're part of a circus. It's fine. This is the world they're supposed to be in. And it's a big difference, even though the circumstance has not changed. It's a big difference between believing you're trapped somewhere away from where you're supposed to be, compared to, this is where I'm supposed to be. It's the same place, but you're not being held back from anything. I mean, it could happen here too. Like, if someone, grows up in America, right? But then you drag someone to America as a prisoner, right? Drag someone and they're trapped here and they can't go back home. That's another mentality. Like, it's very different. It could be the same place, but different mentality. Let's see. And modern day writing has the problem where they can't stick the landing. Yeah, just they're really good at making things go on forever, but not really good at sticking that landing. Bobby Gibson says, "May I recommend the video Skyrim, but it's a modern game, part 1 and 2. It's absolute hilarity. As I've been Gold reacts to it, they use all the leftist talking points. That's pretty funny. That sounds pretty funny. Let me see here. Maybe we could. Yeah, again, I think we can. Pretty interesting. All right. 1 second here. Skyrim, but it's a modern game. Oh wait, I've seen this. I didn't know there's 2 parts to it, but yeah, like everyone's black and stuff. And see, Carl Token Nerd says, "Hi all, lazy morning this morning. I've taken a step away from my fanfic to let it breathe for a day or so. Does that make sense? Absolutely. In fact, I think you should make it like maybe at least a week. Let it take a step back from it. Let's see. Carly says, morning LD and best chat. Good morning. Hello to you. Carly Catcher from Rumble. Good morning. Hello to Evan Rumble chat. Here for some tabletops with Tomboy Tacos and the Green Tube. Join us if you like Tomboys. That is true. Megathon says, hooray, more LD music. I mean, more nonsense. Hello to you, Megathon. Good morning. Exiled New Yorker. Hello to you. I actually really liked TDAC and thought they did the landing. I don't think so. I liked most of the show, but the finale was really a letdown. But we'll see. We'll check it out. Got a video to go over. Revenar said, "Good evening, listener of busy chat. Let's catch up since if I've been can't watch your stream since getting married. Oh, congratulations, Revenar. Congratulations indeed. Well done, Revenar, and fantastic. Hope things go fantastically. It was a great, fantastic day. Well, where is it? Where is the proper thing here? Congratulations, Revenar. Congratulations indeed. Dr. Crow says, good morning, LD and best chat. Hello to you, Dr. Crow. Well, Revenar, hope you have a great day. And good luck to you. What did they say? Happy wedding. Happy wedding. Let's see. Good morning. All last minute schedule change is going to mess up my day. Still going to catch some of this. Fantastic. We'll let you hear while you're here. Shadow Wing Tronics. Dr. Crispin says, I'm less upset about Jax's gender identity and more upset about him fumbling a relationship with Ribbit. She had that cake. Oh man, everyone is talking. By the way, a lot of discourse on Twitter is switched Jax to a girl now because they're all the guys from Reddit. Like they just call Jax a she now because of course now that he's out, it's not even like confirmed in the show. It's confirmed outside the show that Jax is trans. And see. Kyle says, morning, LD and best chat. Best guest. Hello to Kyoko's Shadow. Good morning. Question says, salute LD and best cats. Don't forget to drink coffee. As for me, I'm drinking ice hot butter tea. That sounds interesting. Davina Duckworth. Hello to Davina Duckworth. Good morning. Let's see. Garden Kitchell says, my highlight for the weekend was replacing plumbing in my house. Oh, that's a pretty big project. Kitchen sink backed up and the entire drain tube in the septic was clogged up. Man, with that cholesterol in the artery. Dang, that's tough. But I'm glad you got it done, Connor Ketchell. Very good. Very well done. Lady Facet says, good morning, LD and best chat. Hello to Lady Facet. As a peace offering in my great story that did stick a landing, observation log of my fiance. Calls himself villainous. Very happy with his anime. Fantastic. I mean, it is pretty interesting. It's pretty nice, cute little anime. Very nice. I do like villainous anime. Lord of Dragons. Good morning, everyone. Time for some morning nonsense on top of nonsense. Absolutely. Dane Bowie says, yeah, but he could have quit and opened a humble burger joint somewhere away from the fame instead of murdering people. That is always a choice. I'm not really sure what you're referring to, but it is always a choice. Yeah. Opening up a burger joint instead of murdering people. That's a choice. Let's see. Maybe believe it isn't bad. It says, could the pilot been an accident? I don't know. It's one thing to put together a pilot. It's another thing to put together an entire show. So maybe it's like, okay, we're going from one pilot to planning out an entire series. It's like, it's like instead of doing a sprint, you're doing a marathon. It's a little bit different. And it's a little tough. So the thing happens with I kind of feel something like that could happen with what's his name? Stephen Moffat, the guy who took over for Doctor Who, like he was really good in small doses, right? Because he was the one that put together like the faceless child or whatever it is. Are you my mummy? Like he did that one. He did he made the Weeping Angels. But when he got to run the show, I was like, man, it started to crash pretty hard. It started to crash pretty hard. And Crow says, I think the problem changes from how do I get out to I'm not real. Exactly. But I mean, they seem to be, okay with their lives and everything. And see, Bobby Gibbons says, go away. I don't need a white savior. Johnny Ortiz says, hey, Litab, seen Heather Antos attacking John Byrne. I think I saw a little bit of that, but I just know that she's complaining about harassment. Like she's like, thanks, Mark Zuckerberg, because apparently on Threads or whatever or Facebook, which is where all the SJWs have gone to. You can send people voice responses, and she's like posting these voice responses that she's been getting, and when she's trying to cancel John Byrne, and I don't think John Byrne has gotten fired. I think she's just getting a bunch of blowback, which is a good sign because that means people are done with this. Didn't know LD had a Rumble. Yeah, it's in my description below. I think should be there. You want to check it out over there on Rumble. Also, I link the Rumble stream in Discord if you're in there, and the Discord link should be in the description, I believe. And see, Letty Mariah the Fourth says, "Good morning, LD and Best Shed. I just finished another tough shift at the hospital. Well done, Dr. Uriah the Fourth. Well, at least you're done with a tough shift. At least you're done. I recommend to relax and as a de-stress specifically. It's a Z for Black Rabbit says, hi, Litav. Been watching your videos to be a better writer. Really love your stuff. Any tips on you have on showing, not telling? Yes. Now, I learned this from Gideon Tartakovsky. It doesn't have to be like a big story. Just write a sample story where you don't have any dialogue. Like do a dialogueless scene. Like it doesn't have to be a whole story, just like a scene, right? And also what I also focus on is imagine go with action first. So sometimes people beat around the bush with things that are happening. So some people might say things like, if you're using prose, some people might write, he gasped in shock as he saw, Stanford shoot Brian in the face, right? But really the order should be Stanford pulled his gun, cocked back the hammer, and pulled the trigger. The bullet shot from the open mouth of the pistol and blasted a hole in Brian's face. And then we react. So cause effect. It's really important when you're doing dialogue, this stuff. Cause and effect. There's that. So you kind of keep that in mind. And then another thing I studied was not microaggressions, but micro expressions, right? These things. Like think about how do you react naturally when you're angry? Your brow furrows, right? It's kind of where all this stuff comes from. So instead of like going, he gritted his teeth in anger, to say he clenched his fists, deliver some news, or he opened up the cabinet, saw what was inside, and clenched his fists tightly. If you want to use the word tightly, I recommend only using, those kinds of, the ly words, we'll say, sparingly, but sometimes they are useful for emphasizing things. We just don't, just use them like salt, not too much. So it's stuff like that, right? Stuff like that, where he's kind of like opened the cabinet and he looked at its contents and clenched his fist. Or he opened up the letter, he took out the letter from the envelope, unfolded it, and read what was inside, and groaned with frustration. Right? Then you can kind of like set up like, what did he read? What's inside of it? And then another character could like, what is it? And then he's like, it is. And he sits back, rubs his face, and before explaining, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what you want to do. Show, not telling. You don't tell me how they're feeling. You're showing me how they're feeling by, with wide eyes or sighs, clenched fists. Think about how you naturally react in certain situations. physically, not verbally or having the pros tell you how I feel, but show it through the character's actions and reactions, micro expressions, that sort of thing. Like when if he gets angry, your lips go thin. That's a legitimate sign of legitimate anger. So it's kind of like that. Like study body positioning, body language, micro expressions, things like that, and we will pick that up. We naturally will pick that up, and without telling us how they feel, we can read how they feel. And see, chat. Dai Karia says, I'd love a good troll of the Jax trans thing. Yeah, Jax is a girl. No, Jax is a boy. That's hateful. No, you're hateful because Jax was a girl and now watch heads explode. I do like the whole thing of like everyone for so long, for 8 episodes, like Jax is an asshole, I hate him. And then they don't change his behavior. In fact, they make him worse. But they make him trans. And suddenly, oh, I relate with him now. Like, Interesting. So you relate to this insufferable asshole you hate because he put a bow on one ear. Okay. Interesting. But anyway, chat, I think we'd open up with this. I found this pretty funny. It's a Karatoga Nerd says, has anyone ever written a story when they've got about a quarter way through the release and then they don't want to continue it anymore? Or even finish the story? I think so, yeah. It's kind of common sometimes, I would think. Anyway, check this out. So this guy just gets really animated, we'll say, over this whole interaction between Jax and Ribbit.
Just stop this. I miss talking to you.
We're here. We're talking. What else do you want from me?
I just want to be friends again.
What? So you can pry into my personal life and hold it over my head?
Literally no one did that.
This is a good reaction.
The only thing that was over your head was a sentimental bow tie. What are we talking about?
Is that really what you think? This can't be what you want.
What? Because you know me so well. Because we're such super close best friends. So we know everything about each other.
We were great friends, and I'm sorry for crying, but I don't want this one stupid mistake to be the thing that ends all of this.
Why are you?
Nigga, I'm about to abstract.
That's good stuff.
Just stop this.
But yeah, it was pretty. It's like Jax. I was like, we're watching this movie. Like Stu and I watching this movie. I'm like, is this really going where I think it's going? Like, is Jax really going to be so standoffish to Ribbit now that he caused Ribbit to abstract? Damn, that's pretty rough. And I said on Twitter that this whole thing is like, it's not necessarily a bad thing that this is part of his character, but it does change the way you should view his character, because he is capable of this, right? So it's not bad that this whole thing was revealed, but it is, you should view him differently now. But that's a pretty good reaction. It's like, what the hell are we talking about? But now the thing is, people are defending Jax now because Jax is trans. Like, oh, it's okay because he's trans. Like if they revealed Jax not to be trans, if Jax was just straight, just a regular guy, oh man, they'd be like, oh, how dare you? This guy sucks. Jax is the worst. I hope he dies. I'm glad he abstracted, but because they put a bow on him and he blushed, boom, suddenly all is forgiven. Also, I found this, so I made this a pretty good edit. Like if Kaufma was written by Vivzy Pop, right? Check this out. So Jaxo, it calls him Jaxo now. Jaxo, look, I know we don't fucking get along, but I think we might have found a fucking way out of this shit. Yeah, if Kaufman was written by Vivzy Pop. Good morning to you, Book Column. Hello to you. Hello to you. Let's see. Maybe believe it's not that bad. To quote Dracula Flow, I have no morals or belief system. And regardless to a lot of people on the internet, yeah, pretty much. They have no actual belief system. They just pretend to have a belief system to hide behind it, when really they kind of just believe in whatever benefits them. Hutzelbaum says it's not unrealistic either, since I've known people who do this. Yeah, just definitely, absolutely. Anyway, chat. One more thing. I got this. Someone made a fantastic edit of the Smiling Friends trying to help out James from Silent Hill 2. It's really good. Check this out.
Hello, sir.
Why the long face?
I'm looking for Silent Hill. I'm kind of lost.
Where the smiling friend?
It's really funny because he does sound like the guy from the Mad Scientist episode, the brother, not the scientist himself, but the scientist's brother. Kind of looks like, sounds like that guy. Same inflection and everything.
We can help you.
Okay, let's go.
You have to do it, man.
You had to do it. You didn't have a choice. Silent Hill 2 is really good. I like Smiling Friends, and I like Silent Hill 2. Like Silent Hill 2 is fantastic. I beat the whole game. I think I got the good ending. The boss I fought at the end was Maria and not Mary. So I'll take that as a kind of a victory here. Laura Dragon says Jax is so lucky that the only guy in his group is an insane old man. If there were any other guys, he would have been an asshole. There would have been a fight. I would have fought Jax on several occasions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There would have been some confrontation. All right. But yeah, Jax is lucky that the only other guy in the group was like a half senile old man, I guess. The thing is, he wasn't really old. It turns out, like, it felt that Kinger felt wise and old, like a senior on the project or whatever. Like he's an old veteran. But then you see his real life, like the guy they got the brain scan from. He's like 30. Like what? It was like a Vizzy Pop moment. Like suddenly, this demon is who's supposed to feel really ancient and everything, is like 35. Like what? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, this ancient tradition of purging hell of all of its people every year. I feel like it went on for thousands of years, but it's only been going on for like what, 7, something like that. Like just not very long at all. Anyway,
It's okay.
No! Oh my God!
Whoa!
I hated these things. These things are just like they weren't tough, but they would just like hide in corners and everything. They just jump out at you like this. So Charlie's reaction to this thing is cathartic, I'd say. TT Wizard says, legit, why didn't Ragatha or Kinger talk to Ribbit instead of letting her get isolated by Jax? I bet you they tried, but I mean, it's not really that big of a comfort, I guess. If like you want your relationship with Jax to be repaired, but it's not. And it's really hard to like forget about that, especially because you see Jax every day. But I don't know. Maybe that's why they feel guilty. Although Kinger can't really be held responsible because he's kind of insane. Ragatha should have been more on the ball there.
You do that again, I'm gonna punch you. I'm not kidding.
Look, Pip, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. What?
Classic James. I can't with the spot. Like, no way. There's no way it's gonna make me stick my hand in this filthy toilet. There's no way, but it does. You have to stick your hand in the toilet to continue the game. Like, oh, this is gross. I got this James. It just shows you how insane James is. He's just sticking his hands in filthy toilets, sticking his hands in weird holes in the wall that are full of bugs and weird, moist, organic elements. Like, what the hell is this? Not only that, jumping down holes where you can't see the bottom and stuff. I just like, whatever. I jump down this hole. But yeah, it's like this classic James.
You just cut our losses and get out of here.
Oh, come on. That's nonsense, Charlie. I think the biggest surprises are behind. Dude, I warned you. I said I was going to do that if you did that again. Are you all right? I think he's possessed, man, but don't worry. My uncle taught me exactly what to do in a situation like this.
Get him, Charlie. Get him, Charlie. Power price compels you.
Price compels you. The power
I like that this part's canonical. This part actually happened pretty much.
Fart face!
God, it's not coming off. Oh my God, what the fuck?
I guess Pyramid Head does show up in the show. It's pretty.
Our father, Lord.
James. James.
Charlie, this is a fake knife.
What?
Yeah, it's one of those plastic knives that retract. See?
Oh my
Name it, Jumbo.
God.
It's a gag knife.
Okay,
Well, let's go back to the office. We just need you to sign some paperwork that says we failed to make you smile, and then you can, do what you got to do and all that.
Okay. They went through all that. Like, they went through the entire Silent Hill 2 adventure, and he didn't even smile.
Okay.
Charlie got his face melted, didn't even smile. That was fantastic. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Anyway, let's get down to business, chat. Let's get down to business. The amazing digital letdown. Let's see. Awesome. Let's go, chat. Let us go. Here we go. The amazing digital letdown by Just Stop. We'll check it out.
Just LARPing.
Omni, you have no idea.
So I don't know if this is an unpopular take, but I'm not a big fan of Glitch. Like, not in the moral high horse type of way. I don't have some weird personal beef with them for putting their stuff in theaters early. I just don't really click that much with most of their output. I thought Gaslight District was cool, Genevieve was fine, Gameaverse was mid. I've tried watching Murder Drones on maybe 4 different occasions, and I've never had the strength.
How many episodes is Knights of Guinevere, by the way? Let's see. Knights of Guinevere. Let's see. How many episodes is Knights of Guinevere? Let me see. I heard it was out now. Oh, great. Film theorists did some stuff on it. Oh, geez. Okay. So is it over? Is the season over? Because it's been out for a while, apparently. Let me see here. Playlists. Murder Drones, Knights of Guinevere. Oh, it's only 1 episode. Okay. How about this? We have a goal here. We have a goal. All right. So here's the thing. We reached $400. We're going to watch some more Venture Brothers, but we'll also do Knights of Guinevere. All right. We're going to do both. So it's not one. I'm not switching out one for the other. We're going to do both. All right. Maybe in one stream. Let's see. Knights of Guinevere. Here we go. It's just a pilot. That'd be kind of interesting. Very interesting. All right. There we are. Hold on. Get this right. Make sure this is correct. And Knights of Guinevere. So we'll do both. We'll do Venture Brothers and Knights of Guinevere if we reach $400 by the end of the week, chat. By the end of the week. So we're going to get 3 episodes of Venture Brothers and all of Knights of Guinevere. And then, of course, if we reach 500, boom. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Generation X. So. Let's get down to business, chat.
To get past episode 3, it's just so annoyingly okay to me. And then there's their older stuff, which, I'm sorry, man, I can't find it in me to give a shit. So there's only one show from them I was ever really a fan of, The Amazing Digital Circus. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of that came down to the creators, since I am a longtime fan of anything Gooseworks. I got introduced to them through Elaine Gets Adopted, which is kind of like watching Fire Walk With Me as your first David Lynch, but their style was so distinct and interesting, I just had to see more of what this person could do, and that led me down a massive rabbit hole, since it turns out there's way more they could do than I initially thought. Like, normally when I look into artists, they're great at this one specific...
Oh, right. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, this I could have done it yesterday, but because Shad canceled the stream yesterday because he's feeling ill, but today, this evening, we're going to do a Rumble stream on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, continuing our venture down that particular series. So, if you want to join me to later on this evening for 3 more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, it'll be there. So I would say around 9:30 Eastern PM. That's kind of when we'll have it. Well, that's when we'll have the stream, 9:30 PM Eastern today on Rumble. We'll continue our venture into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Generation X
thing that defines their whole career online. But with Goose, it felt like
it's usually if I have a Rumble stream, it's going to be around 9:30 PM Eastern. That's when usually I start those things. So if I have a Rumble stream, that's in the evening, not in the morning or whatever. It's probably going to be around 9:30 PM Eastern. So usually standard. And say Ben Parker says, so who is LD going to have make a man out of us today? Let's see. Knights of Guinevere is made by the same people who did Owl House. Kissing by the MC's character designs, it's almost a guarantee they'll be lesbians. Oh, probably then. Probably. I'm waiting to see like this Korean knight Apparently, that Pro CD voiced. If Doug says, I don't care about Amazing Joe Circus, but I want to see Cyberpunk Edge Runners and love Death and Robots. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is really good. Fantastic. It's really good for at least one watch. I recommend. David Lutzman says, good morning, LD and Bez Jack. Good morning, David Musselman. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Like the opposite, since she's just never stuck to doing one single thing well. She works in 2D animation, 3D animation, hand-drawn, motion tweens, music, webcomics, unnaturally good shitposting. I know it just sounds like I'm sucking them off, but seriously, she has so many talents that feel like they're at their best for her most ambitious projects. And it seemed like the bigger they went, the better they got, so I was really excited when I heard she was teaming with Glitch to do a full series. I didn't know what to expect, since most of her shit's kind of off the walls by design, plus the one time she actually tried a story, she canned it right as it was getting good, but I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt since it's clear she works so hard on whatever she does, and even if she's not versed with deeper storytelling, she knows how to get some big emotional impacts. I watched Dinto Takes the Stairs once and I fucking disintegrated, so I had a lot of hopes going into it, and once the pilot was out, I thought it was good. I like the premise. A Harlan Ellison sort of romp about trapped souls forced to go on adventures from a digital ringmaster. Sounds like a setup Goose would have fun with. She'd keep the baby eating option. That and the jokes were good. The cast was fun. The style was sick. I love all the squash and stretch, but there was also a slight lack of polish in the story and pacing. It was obviously the start of something, so I didn't want to go too hard with it, and a couple moments really stood out to me, like the ending theme, which just... So it had me hooked for sure, but I felt like I needed some more before I could really make a judgment call. I was glad there was room to just have a normal conversation, though, with how hostile the Murder Drones fandom was, and yeah, no, I wasn't going to finish that sentence. I can't even begin to tell you how over it is. To say I was shocked at the reception doesn't really do it justice, since I was legitimately unnerved at the level of popularity. It didn't make sense to me. I mean, I wanted it to be big and expected at least the numbers Murder Drones was getting, but I never thought it'd be the type of thing I heard my brain-rotted younger brother referencing. It was almost a little uncomfortable, especially when I looked at the Digital Circus post.
Brainwashed younger brother. That phrase. This reminds me. This kind of brings to the memory. Oh yeah, I'm playing. I play. Was it Overwatch? And he playing Tracer, and like the little brother comes in. Hey, she's from a game. No.
Poster I bought, and then once it started getting slop videos, I was just taken out, since I always associated that type of shit with baby content. So thinking of something made by the creator of the Darley boxcar getting that reputation, it didn't really compute with me. I guess what happened was it did such a good job capturing the aesthetic, it couldn't help getting fans of the Jake Neutron variety, even though it was clearly wearing it ironically like most Goose stuff is. And mixed with the oversaturation of indie pilots lately, I think maybe it's had an effect on how people see it. Oh, who am I fucking kidding? There's no maybe about it. You don't get Jack's Toy to 50 million views without people seeing you differently. Me personally, though, I never quite meshed with that side of the fandom, since I do
like the fact that every single there's a section of millennial artists or whatever that it's clear where the trauma came from. Like it's for some reason the ringmaster figure, the twink in a top hat figure is just a prominent. I'm not saying it's the same character, but it's like a Hero 1,000 Faces thing. It's like it's the same archetype. We all these there's a certain subsection of these like lesbian LGBTQ people who make like LGBTQ media, and there's always like a ringmaster. There's always like a twink in a top hat walking around. At least one of them. And then also we have a Jax character, and like in Hazbin Hotel, the Jax character is of course Angel Dust. It's the same character, same freaking character.
The fandom, since I wasn't a Glitch fan or an indie fan or a slop fan, I was a Gooseworks fan. So no matter how big the show got or how many follicles on Jax's foreskin I could see as the budget expanded, I always thought of it as, I don't know, smaller. The grandness of it never caught up to me, and that's probably why I feel so casual talking about it now, despite just getting back from watching the finale and probably the worst theater experience of my life. Like, I don't want to hear anything about how unfair it was. You had to be mentally unwell to get through that, because if you weren't already, you were going to be by the end. But I still couldn't change from that view I always had of it. You know, from my perspective, Digital Circus had always been just the first big piece in the GCU, and even if I tried not to think that way initially, I probably would have by the end, since, man, this thing is kind of rough. Like, my thoughts weren't as structured before, since for a while I was just sort of binging the thing when a new episode came and leaving it there, but for the finale I thought I should go through it all in one big sitting to prepare, and I realized I don't think I actually like it. I know that sounds weird when I just got done hyping up Goose and how I was watching the show whenever something new came out, but honestly, looking back, aside from the fact I just wasn't that engaged when I was watching it casually, I also remember I let a lot of things slide, since in the months between episodes, I'd forget the specifics and figure I was misremembering when something didn't get the focus or payoff I was kind of hoping for. So in other words, I gaslit myself since I couldn't be fucked to go back every time a new episode was out, but I've done it now, and I sort of regret it. I mean, there's still a lot to like. I've always loved Goose's style of humor, even if the dialogue's not nearly as good as the visual gags, which I kind of expected. The animation's extremely fluid and polished. It's probably my favorite looking glitch show, minus Gaslight District. Oh, and have I mentioned the music? Because the music makes me a jack chili. So everything I thought Goose would nail, she did. But everything I was worried she wouldn't... Shit, my comedy mask. I guess it's time for sad boy hours. I think my first big problem with the amazing... Okay, I'm not saying the whole thing every time. What's the acronym? TADC? Yeah, not using that. I think my first problem with Circus is one I've kind of had with most of Goose's...
It's a bit of a long name. It's a... Listen, Gerard Zalavo says you should see Mechanite review of the show. Oh, is that another one? Another one by Glitch? Buglam says Jax was trans and his body was created based on his personality. So does that mean his real body was female? That would explain why he's acting so crazy. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, was that the story all along? As he did, Muslim says, my older brother's looking at writing a high fantasy book in D&D setting he created. He literally has a wiki page on his computer about the world's history. That's a pretty good start. You know, having the world kind of hammered out first before you start, pretty good idea. That way it kind of feels lived in. I mean, but you got to make sure the story exists, though. Ben Parker says, the same goes for women written by inexperienced guy writers. All those anime women leads in action shows, like Major from Ghost in the Shell's SAC, Sentinel Complex, she's a guy in a woman's body. Kinda, yeah. This is how it's going to go. Like women will write men like their daddies, you know, that their dads, you know, where are the ideal man, and he's going to be strong, stoic, and then he'll always naturally smell of like something manly, like wood or something. And then also, not only is he strong, masculine, and defiant, not necessarily moral, but strong and masculine and defiant, but also he is emotionally self-aware and, as they say, emotionally intelligent. That like the Einstein of emotional intelligence, and so he can read her every whim and every thought. And then also he puts up with every shenanigan she goes through, so she just do whatever. And then if she cheats on him, he'll forgive her and say, you know, it's okay, it's just one mistake, you know, that sort of thing. So that's how women write men. It's like basically just like their dads plus lovers. It's just the dads who will just put up with their stuff and forgive them, but also the lover who will know exactly every single thing that they're feeling and thinking. That's how it typically goes. However, we've seen the depths of depravity that a man will go to when he writes a woman. It's just like, ugh. I've seen some of this anime with crazy, like, it was, oh yeah, they have the fantasy of all these pretty women obsessing over them, but like it's the way they write them is kind of disgusting. Like, oh yeah, I want to sniff his socks and eat with the utensils he used for breakfast. Like, oh, it's nasty. Get out of here.
Projects, but never saw as that big an issue before, and that's the main lead's just not very interesting beyond their design. Like, in short, it's less intrusive since they're usually more about the world.
I think a lot of people like Pomni because Pomni is very like empathy. Basically, Pomni is a really good girl. Like, Pomni is a really good girl in a world where having a feminine style character is just considered obscene or misogynistic or whatever. So, like, Pomni is very feminine. It's the reason why people like Pomni. It's not just because of the design on thing. It's also because she is empathetic towards others. She's always trying to, you know, cater to people's feelings, and also she's trying to be friends with Jax no matter what, instead of being very standoffish and manly. Like, Pomni is the character I'm pretty sure that, you know, the trans people would like to have. Someone who's always, you know, talk about it. You know, I'm ready to empathize with you. I'll listen to your feelings and validate them and things like that. It's very telling that a lot of those, you know, a lot of the therapy sessions end with "It's not your fault and your feelings are valid," which is really funny because I just came to the conclusion yesterday after, because I'm rewatching it and everything for a video, and it's like if this is supposed to be I have no mouth and I must scream, then it's really funny because M the original, the AI from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is psychotically full of hate. Like what was the thing he says? Like, if I have like millions of miles of circuitry, and if you were to write hate on like every a million times on everything, on every tiny little circuit, all across the millions of miles, it would not be one billionth of my hatred I feel for mankind. That's AM, and what AM was basically a bunch of supercomputers who linked up and became sentient. So it was like a bunch of, like, during this time it was a bunch of war going on, and every major country made their own supercomputer, a allied what was it called? Allied something, like allied multi-computer or whatever it is. But but what happened was all these computers combined together and became what we know as AM, and then became sentient and said, I hate humanity. That's what happened. So like, and then like AM wiped out humanity, and then kept Five alive with torture because he just hated humanity so much. It just wasn't enough to wipe it out. He had to continue delivering pain upon humans for who knows how long. Okay, so the equivalent, the basic digital circus equivalent of AM is, of course, Kane in this situation. I do like the fact that it would make me laugh was that Kane is supposed to be AM. So the millennial version of AM is not a evil AI that wipes out the human race. It is a AI who tries to please you, but is too egotistical to try to figure out like what actually works. And what is the most horrifying about Kane is that he does not validate your feelings. And that's the millennial version of AM, is an AI that doesn't hate you, but neither does he validate your feelings, and that's just as bad.
So Elaine and Runmo just being curious little goobers gets the job done, but Circus is explicitly a more character-focused show, and it goes on for way, way longer, so there's not much excuse for just how average Pomni is. At first I was more forgiving, her being the POV as the newest member and all, even if her reaction's so textbook she literally goes, is this a dream? I bet this is a dream. Which I hate with a passion, but what I hate even more is that Pomni doesn't just not go on to be an interesting character once the shock wears off, she somehow gets simpler. And there wasn't that much to stand on to begin with, so it's sort of like seeing a caterpillar go into a cocoon and come out as a worm, since at the start, she had something. It wasn't much. Okay, it was just anxiety, but you could work with that. I like anxious characters. The more panic attacks, the better. No, not you. You'll get your turn. But yeah, Pomni...
Yeah, also... Yeah, there's so many panic attacks. Like, just they love panic attacks. That's like of all the things that they could have praised Last Wish for, Puss in Boots' Last Wish, all of the the great villains, the interesting plot, how it kept moving, the character interactions. No, it's not any of that. It's, oh my goodness, they have a realistic panic attack in the film. Really? That's kind of what we're down to. The millennials will just, that's why we have something but garbage these days. Millennials don't really care about anything unless it's about mental illness. At least one big subsection of them.
Had plenty of room to grow from there. And in episode 2, she almost starts getting there with a bit about her feeling like she's falling into darkness that...
Like, we'll have people write a really good story with meaning and characterization and everything. And this really cool plot progression and character interaction, growth, all this stuff. And there'll be a millennial writing an article about how it portrayed, I don't know, body dysmorphia perfectly or something. It's like, come on. Not everything is about mental illness. Like, can you appreciate something else other than mental illness or whatever? Like, come on. This is why we have so much garbage. Like, everything was given a green light or a thumbs up, not because it's good, but because it portrays a mental illness or whatever, like, accurately or at all. So, Last Wish, what a fantastic movie, but everyone praised it because it has a panic attack in there. Okay.
Isn't brought up for most of the episode and gets resolved way too fast with the info character she still hasn't formed a connection with. But then after that, it's diddly squat. She gets almost nothing else I'd call major character traits. I guess being generous, you could say she's understanding and reasonable, but that's just me digging.
Existential dread is fine, but enough with this harping endlessly on mental illness. Enough. I know it's plaguing the millennial generation because everyone is mentally ill, or at least they want to LARP as mentally ill. But yeah, enough. There's other things to talk about.
It's not like those define her, at least when she's not having a therapy session with other characters. Really, she's just anxious, and even that's only occasional when she's not acting normal, which gets more and more common as she integrates to the circus. So like I said, she basically devolves from how she was in the pilot to be less intriguing. And the suckiest part is that the rest of the cast aren't that much different. Think about it. How much does, say, Zubul change by the end of the series? None at all, right?
None of these characters really change by the end of the series. They just don't. Like Pomni is the only one that really changes. Everyone else is kind of ends the same way they began. Pomni changes because she goes from like rejecting the idea of being here to being okay with it to being the rock everyone kind of leans on.
They're an independent fuck you rebel who tells it straight at the start, and they're exactly the same when you get to the end. Nothing about them fundamentally changes.
The grumpy one.
Now look at the others. Kinger, nutcase who's more reasonable in the dark. Ragatha, people-pleasing self-deprecator. Gangle, emotionally fragile pushover. None of these profiles change at all by the last episode. They might get a little more comfortable with themselves, like Gangle.
Jax kind of gets worse. Jax doesn't change, technically speaking. He abstracts, but doesn't change. Because the big reveal of him, coming out, I mean, not coming out, but like revealing his backstory to Ribbit, and then driving Ribbit so far away that she abstracts is very interesting. Like it's already had happened. It's not something that is happening now. So it's not like he gets more evil. That it had already happened in the past. So Jax doesn't really change either. The only one that really changes is Pomni, as she goes from wanting to leave, rejecting this reality to accepting it and being okay with everything. And I guess it's fine because she's the main character. But yeah, none of these other characters really change that much either.
Coming to accept her insecurities, but that's about it. And if you're wondering how that's possible when we have 9 episodes featuring these characters, it's because while they all have problems you'd think would be the focus of episodes, specifically about getting over those problems, that never ends up happening since, well, they're all missing one thing to get them started. A catalyst. Something that gives them a reason to overcome it. The thing that drives pretty much all growth in stories, since otherwise, why would people change? I mean, just for the most blatant example I can think of, Saw. The catalyst of those movies is Jigsaw putting people in traps because, I don't know, they missed.
It's fun, and also each trap is its own expression of creativity. You can have the same thing. You can have the story, repeat the same, premise, but the premise changes, and that's what makes it interesting. Like Saw, every movie is interesting to me because it's always like a new trap, a new story, a new character going through Jigsaw's maze of horrors or whatever. Alex Haley says that Pomni made great R34 just as Kinger. Hold your breath, Pomni. You can't let God do all the work.
Their son too much, and they need to win through getting over it or dying. That's what a catalyst does. It gives motivation. But the characters in Circus don't have them, meaning all we get for most of the story is a bunch of setups that linger, sit around for a while, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll get paid off with a brief therapy sesh where after spoon-feeding the message to them in as blunt a terms as—
oh my goodness. Oh yes. Oh yes. Even this person, even Just Stop is like, enough with the therapy sessions. Enough. All right, it's too much. You can't have the characters just tell you how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
Possible they'll think, wow, I think this is really what I needed to start my path to change.
And then they don't. When usually it kind of goes down to you could kind of summarize every single one of these therapy sessions as I'm feeling bad, and then the other character goes, don't feel bad, it's not your fault. Oh, thanks, everything is good now. It's not, though, because they don't really change after that. It's just kind of a therapy session that goes nowhere. It's kind of my problem with these little heart-to-heart talks. Like, it doesn't really go anywhere. You can skip an episode and everyone's completely the same. No one cares. It doesn't do anything. David Musselman, thanks for the 5 gifted membership. Thank you much, David Musselman. Very generous indeed, David Musselman. Welcome to 5 new members of the Lit Legion, which are the past shows and the custom emojis. Thank you very much, David Musselman. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Let's see. ZZ for Black Rabbit says, I gotta get ready for the day, but I hope you have a great day, Lit D and Best Chat. Well, thank you very much for Black Rabbit. Hope you have a great, fantastic day. It's awesome. Thanks for stopping by.
That's what happens with Zubal's body dysmorphia, Gangel's hatred of herself, Pomni's anxiety. It's a never-ending loop.
If they kind of willed it down to one every couple episodes, but no, we have like several in one episode sometimes. And they go on forever, and they don't really do anything. They don't change anybody. The people aren't really changed afterwards. It's more like, here is my feelings. Oh, it's not your fault. Thank you. Moving right along.
The same thing happening over and over. And I don't know about you, but to me, that's...
See, I'm not crazy. He saw this too. It's the same thing happening over and over and over again. And then they'll respond with, it's supposed to be that way because, day after day after day. Yeah, well, no. This is a story. It's supposed to be changing. Things are supposed to be happening. All right. I'm not here to see the same thing exactly play out over and over again. They're not going through a loop or a time loop or anything. They are continuing on as people. So they should change. All right. There should be a story, and it's not down to, oh, they're just here forever. It is a loop. But remember, it's in the theme song, day after day after day after day. No. You can live in the same place, in the same neighborhood, day after day after day, but you still change. You can have a movie. Like a movie can take place like Friday. Ever seen Friday? They barely leave the house. Things change at the end of that movie, right? I know it takes place over the course of one day, like a Greek tragedy, but it's like they change by the end of the movie. Like the main character, Ice Cube's character, like finds his masculinity and stands up against the bully and everything, which is an awesome moment. But it's a really good movie for that reason. Like it's memorable for that reason. And let's say it's like Shakespeare or anything, but it's really good for that reason. It has a character arc. They change. They never really leave the neighborhood. I don't think they just kind of stay around the house, but there's change. So the whole thing about, oh yeah, they're just trapped here, and it is the same thing day after day, day after day, day after day. It's not though. They go on different adventures. They have different experiences. They meet different people, and they interact in different various ways. So they should be growing. They shouldn't be stuck in one thing, one personality, one mindset all throughout the series. Like they should change a little bit. It's a little bit
unsatisfying, especially when you factor in the one.
Yeah, remember they kind of mentioned that. Oh yeah, Scratch was the first abstraction, the dog. And then they kind of mention him again in the finale by having him pop up, and that's it. They never confront that or go into his character or anything. Like, okay, why did he abstract? Why was he the first abstraction? It sounds like a really intense thing to have happen. But no one cared.
Character who does get development, Mr. Jaxbox himself, whose arc just kind of natural.
Yeah, a lot of the final movie is just about Jax, like a big chunk of it. There's 3 chunks of the movie. One is, they're trying to start, to rebuild the circus without Kane. Okay, trying to deal with the consequences of their actions, and but now that they found new strength in each other by now they can take over the circus and form the world into what they want it to be. Make do with what they have and create the change instead of sitting around hoping some miracle will happen and all the problems will be solved. That's a really good thing. It's a really good message. It's up to you to make your life what you want it to be, not up to some daddy government or something. Right? It's pretty good. And they kind of continue on that journey until it's time for Jax to abstract. And they kind of jump off that before its completion. And now we're dealing with Jax. And, it's about tackling the question of abstraction. And we kind of meander off that trail mid-trail and go to, yes, he's trans or something. Okay. And we don't really answer that question. And then suddenly Kane is back, alleviating all consequences from episode 8. Fantastic. Awesome. Well done. I like it when consequences are just kind of shoved aside for therapy sessions. Awesome. Great. That's what I wanted. Normal Man. They said $10 super chat. Thank you much, Normal Man. Very much appreciated. Very generous, Normal Man. Thank you very, very much. Says, as a Gen Z, the obsession around panic attacks and therapy sessions are kind of cringe. Yeah, I'm right with you on that one. I guess, I don't know what level of millennial I am, but as a millennial, I can tell you that this is the cringiest thing to come out of my generation is obsessions around panic attacks in film, representation crap, and therapy sessions. Enough. That's dumb. All right. I don't need to know this stuff. I don't want to watch this stuff unless it's about therapy sessions. Unless your story is about like unless your story is Hannibal Lecter or Frasier or something like that, where their job is therapy, then I don't really want to see that stuff. I want to see a story, thank you. Must be because I was raised by older Gen X types who taught me to work through my problems. Exactly. It's like you can't go to some place. Okay, let's roll it back though. So remember how we're talking about like the hero's journey, everything from Door Monster, and the conversation kind of popped up about everyone wants a magic button. Millennials want a magic button to everything. They say, oh, if I just vote in a Democrat, he's going to use all the tax money to alleviate all my problems. If I just vote in a Democrat who will just shoot money at everything, suddenly I'm going to have enough money to live off of. Suddenly, global warming will stop being a thing. Suddenly, all the bad guys will just be gone. Everyone will have freedom and everything will be great. Like all the world will be great if we just have a Democrat who shoots money at everything and alleviates all the problems, like clearing off a muddy wall with a hose, right? But we also want the same thing. A lot of millennials want the same thing when it comes to art. Okay, millennials want a magic button that will change you from a amateur artist drawing stick figures to Picasso or something, or Rembrandt. Da Vinci. All right. They want a magic button that'll just switch it, like just boom. I got this technique down. So therefore I'm really good now. Right. Same thing. And then Door Monster kind of expertly cried us to the position of this is how it's like for writers. Like the hero's journey. Everyone hates these leftist types hate the hero's journey because the hero's journey was supposed to be this magic button. If I just follow the hero's journey, then my story will be good. I'll make the next Star Wars, which is not true. Right? It's not true at all. So yeah, it's like, and then therapy became such a big thing today because millennials want a magic button to make all their mental illnesses go away, all their problems go away. They think if I could just go to this one guy, I'll have a magic button that'll heal me. And really, okay, therapy can work, maybe. Some people have some stories where it works, but it's not up to the therapist. The therapist is not going to cure you. The therapist will help you, like Virgil to Dante, on your way to being cured. But you have to do the work as well. And that's kind of what a lot of millennials don't like to hear, that we have to do the work too. That if I want to be at least a decent artist, I have to sit down every day and draw. If I want to be a decent writer, I have to sit down every day and write, which I do. Every single day, I write a little something new. And 98% of the stuff I make don't really make it to larger stories. But every single day, I try to write something new. I come up with a new character, a backstory, a piece of lore. Something small, something big, some ideas. Some ideas are worth keeping, and I do. But it's every single day. You have to practice on something: lore generation, character development, a story, a little snippet of something, all that stuff. You have to do that. You can't. It's not just like you learn the hero's journey and suddenly you're magically a good writer. It does not work that way. It's a lot of millennials don't understand that. It's on us, like a big part of solving problems and making things better and improving upon things and reaching your dreams is on us. Yeah, there might be guides, people to help us, tools to help us, but it's really on us. And that's kind of the whole thing with ChatGPT. When ChatGPT came around, the people saw that as a magic button. Millennials saw that as a magic button to solve all your problems, and it's not. Like if you really want to be a writer, if you really want to be an artist, it's not really up to ChatGPT. You have to still do the work because ChatGPT sucks at creativity. I might give you like an interesting picture or whatever, but it feels really inhuman. It really does. Even like Suno, when you want to make a song, you have the AI generate the lyrics and everything, and you give it like no guidance. It sucks. Like it's awful. It's so robotic. I have no idea how to do that. So the thing is, there is no magic win button, and the millennials don't like to hear that. A lot of millennials don't really like to hear that. There's no magic win button. There's no one thing that you do. You press, you click or whatever, you flip on and off, that'll make all your problems go away. But they yearn for it, and because that doesn't exist, they think that the world is imperfect. There's not one quick answer to these big problems. right? It takes work, it takes practice, it takes time, it takes effort. And it's okay to ask for help, but know that it's not on them now. Like, it's not, I'm going to drop all my emotional baggage on you and you're going to cure it for me. That's not how it works. You have to do the work too. And yeah, so it's really beneficial that, you know, you were raised by Gen X types who taught you to work through your problems, because no matter who you talk to, no matter who you approach for help, you have to do a lot of the work too. In the end, it is up to you to get through, to work through your problems and come to the conclusions that you need to come to. It's up to you. Like, you can go to a writing class, you can go to an art class, you can take 10 years of art, or go to like a writing workshop or whatever, but nothing is going to help unless you are also there doing the work. Like, you also have to participate. You can't just be like, I went to a writing workshop, so I'm a writer now. I know that there's a lot of millennials who kind of feel that way. Like, I have a degree, so this makes me a good writer. I went to this writing workshop by this prestigious writer or whatever. I was taught by Dan Brown or something in this writer's workshop, so I must be a good writer. Like, no, that's not how it works. They will help you, but you need to do the work. You need to sit down and practice. Absolutely. So, well done, Norman Man. Absolutely. You're absolutely 100% right. It's a big part of working through your problems is you working through your problems. All right. It can be beneficial to ask for help, to seek guidance, to seek advice, but at the end of the day, it is a big portion of it is on you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I enjoy the student songs I make too, but the thing is, I do like 2/3 of the work. I got it to exactly what I want with a paragraph of notes, literally a paragraph of notes. And then I write the lyrics on the ground up. And so that's kind of how I get my songs. But anyway, thank you much, Lady Fastlot. Thank you very much. I have heard that song. It's pretty funny. Kind of listen to I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again. That's an AI song with soul. I don't know. Is it an AI? I know it's an AI song, but it's like someone wrote the lyrics. I'm not really sure that an AI generated the lyrics. I glued my balls to my butthole again. I feel like something somebody wrote and had the AI make music to. Anyway,
he dunks on everyone else's because he actually has a catalyst. His self-preserving funny guy shtick leaves him isolated and imploding, so although he tries to fight it, he eventually lets Pomni in since he knows he can't keep this up forever. It's not a complex arc, I wouldn't call it amazing, but it's well executed. So it's honestly no wonder to me he got most of the focus later, since he's the only one I can say that about. Or well, that and most of the time he's the only one causing the main thing every story needs, which is conflict. There has to be real, genuine conflict either between the cast or against them for anything to change. And when you look at the cast of Circus, none of them are doing shit to cause it without Jax. Seriously. Like, I hate to list them out again, but Kinger's a nut so he stays in his fort, Zubal's a rebel so they keep to themselves, Gangle's a wimp who hardly complains,
Zubul sucks. Like, Zubul is like, it's kind of like, have you ever played a game of D&D and there's always one person who's like not participating? It's like everyone knows in the social contract of D&D, you know that you can't be too standoffish. You can't really be a lone wolf character because it's a group activity. So it's like a part of the unspoken rule that you kind of have to play along, even if you're a player. It's not all up to the DM to give you everything. Right? What's my motivation to work with this group? Like, you're with this group. If you didn't want to work with this group, your character would like, you know, logically leave, right? Why else would they stay? So otherwise your character wants to be with this group, right? That's kind of what Zubul is. Zubul is the one who doesn't want to participate in anything, and she's supposed to be like the cool character or whatever, but no, like that's one of the most annoying things about Zubul is like Zubul doesn't want to do anything or participate in anything. Everyone else is trying to, you know, relate to each other and get along. Zubul's like, nah, not today. So when Kane confronts Zubul in a literal therapy session, I'm more on Kane's side. Like, what the hell, bitch? Just at least play along. At least you could be there for the other characters.
Is too agreeable to start a fight, and Pomni's stuck in her own head. If it weren't for Jax around to stir things up and annoy them, there'd be no natural conflict since they're all too docile or unobtrusive to do it themselves. Shit, I remember in the pilot, Pomni left Ragatha to potentially die, and the way that left an awkward air, I thought it'd lead to a discussion about some built-up resentment.
No, everything is fine. I thought it was going to be resentment because the episode after, it does kind of come back again emotionally. but it never comes up again in a conversation or confrontation ever. Not ever. But and also it is pretty understandable that Pomni was just freaked out by all this and left Ragatha behind, and she apologizes later. But here's the thing. You think that would be like a thing that pops up again. Yeah, but again, like this guy says, but it never, ever happens.
Or whatever. But no, the minute episode 2 starts, Ragatha's all, oh, don't worry about it, buddy, we're still good. And somehow that's the fucking end of it, for real. Without Jax, this would be every scene. It's why the episodes he's not involved in are the most
This is why there is my favorite episode is with the guns. I know the gun episode is awesome because of the guns, but also there's an actual conversation in there. So my main example of an active conversation between Pomni and Jax where they confront each other and Pomni like attacks Jax, but that's not really necessary. It was cool, not really necessary though. But the reason why it was good was because we got information, we got growth, we got development, we got confrontation. Otherwise, every other conversation is just like, oh, that's okay, don't worry about it, it's not your fault. Just coddling feelings, validating feelings, and then we kind of continue. That's every conversation except for the ones with Jax.
Peaceful, but also the most aimless. He's the only one willing to push buttons and bring them out of their comfort zone, something that also points to another thing the show's missing, goals. Since if a character's not looking to do something, how can they run into conflicts that stop them until they can grow enough to beat it? Having goals is about the most basic thing necessary for any narrative, and yet for most of its episodes, Circus kinda insists it shouldn't have one. Since there's an obvious goal from episode 1, try to get out, but after the pilot, Pomni basically gives up any dream of it like the others. So until the possibility decides to literally walk up to them in episode 7, no one ever tries to do anything. Okay, there's the goal of Pomni adjusting to the circus, but that's not something she and the others work at. It just sort of naturally happens by virtue of her being there. There's nothing to give it a sense of urgency that keeps you invested. It's just a bunch of lazing around waiting for stuff to happen. And look, to be fair to Goose, I can see how we got here. Something a lot of writers worry about is making sure their characters naturally take as long as they do to win, since if they're too proactive, the story might end too quickly. My favorite example of this is how when the author of Beastars switched Haru and Legoshi species and genders for What If, the story...
Apparently everyone says it's good, but I've not seen it because it seems way too furry to me. So apparently this is really good, Beastars, and people have... the only thing I know about it is it's like if Zootopia was like a series or something. That's what I've heard, but I have not seen it.
Finished in like 5 seconds. That's clearly what Goose was trying to avoid here, given how if the cast was just a little more questioning, they probably would have realized Kinger's a programmer who goes sane in the dark and used him like they do in episode 8. So to keep that from happening, they had to be utterly hopeless. And kind of dumb. And what that leads to is a breezy tone where the cast can just chill and be social until shit gets real, but the problem with that is it feels empty. I mean, characters trying to make sense of a world they feel trapped in is interesting, but the rules of the world itself are hardly ever the focus, and there still needs to be something that pushes the story along. We need to know we're going somewhere. Otherwise, it's just trauma dumping without any real point, which... a lot of this feels like most of the time whenever Jax is gone, it's just blunt conversation, and it sort of makes me yearn for him, since sure, I don't know where the shit he starts is going, if anywhere, but at least when Jax gets people to fight, I know there's momentum. He gets the gears of potential change moving, which is more than I can say for the one who should be doing that, at least a little bit, Kane. And that seriously bugs me, because it's the polar opposite of his character's inspiration. See, Goose is pretty open about the fact she got some ideas for Circus from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is this really integral piece of horror.
It's pretty on the nose. Like I have no mouth and I must scream. But like I said at the beginning of the stream, I just like the fact that Kane is clearly a millennial version of Am. It's like but instead of wiping out humanity, Kane's biggest sin is he does not validate your feelings, which is the main and antagonistic feature of Kane throughout the entire series. Like that's it until the very end. That's kind of how it is. Kane is very much the millennial version of Am, but instead of being a homicidal maniac, he doesn't validate your feelings. That's pretty millennial to me. And to a millennial, not validating your feelings is pretty much just as bad as genocide. Anyway, chat, we got a guest in the back room. Let's see if this could possibly be.
Don't talk to me. I know you're a pervert under there.
Yeah.
And welcome, Stu, the Stu crew.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Have y'all been seeing the amazing news just coming out? Just everything's just going swell.
The amazing digital news. Let's see. Which news? Starmer going away?
Starmer going down. We're getting cut off from that fucking cancer of a country soon. I'm just so
Now
happy.
little that narrows it down.
Yeah, well, we've been listening to what they've been saying, and now that everyone's finally heard what they said, we can all agree we don't need this in our life.
Yeah, we're better off without interference in foreign countries, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We learned that from George Bush era. Is the Alex Adlictus says, meanwhile, Kane is all mouth. Kane has mainly a mouth, and he can scream. But yes, Stu, to me, we're getting to the part where Gooseworks obviously had some inspiration from I have no mouth and I must scream. Kane being the millennial version of Am, and the horror show of Kane is not because he hates you, it's because he doesn't validate your feelings, which actually is a major conflict in the first 8 episodes.
Yeah.
All 7 episodes. And then he actually does become kind of like Am. Like, I hate you humans. But the first 7 episodes, what makes him evil, a cruel antagonist, is that he does not validate your feelings. He doesn't hate you. And he does everything he can to please you, but he does not validate your feelings, and that's bad.
It's so fucking annoying. I actually had the disciple. She constantly was like, I need you to validate my feelings. And I'm like, why? Your feelings are not valid worthy because you get upset over nothing. Why would I validate that? Why would I encourage that behavior?
Yeah, it's kind of like I said earlier in the stream, like people kind of like, I guess, side with Zubul, whatever, but I'm like, Zubul sucks. And you know this, Stu. I hate Zubul.
Zubul's annoying. Yeah.
One of the reasons I hate Zubul is because I kind of equate it to, have you ever played a D&D? I'm pretty sure you have. But you ever played a D&D campaign where it's like you have a group of people who all sign up to the social contract of D&D, which is you participate, right? You are part of the party. You participate in the party. Your character wants to be there, but then you have one asshole in the group who's like, why should my character want to help any of these people? Like, what's my motivation, DM, to want to help these people? Like, your motivation that you're here.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be helping out your party. But there's like one lone wolf who's like doesn't want to do anything. Like, why are you even here at a D&D night? You don't want to do anything. Like, it's not the DM's responsibility to get you motivated. That's Zubul. Zubul is that character.
Yeah. No, yeah, she's kind of a bitch and really annoying to deal with. Like, it's not fun watching anything Zubul does. I don't like her.
I don't like Zubul, or like you could really cut out Zubul and Gangle, and the show would be way better. To me, anyway, I'd like it way more. Just kind of Zubul and Gangle, unless the show becomes about Jax torturing Gangle, and that's fine with me. But other than that, you can kind of cut out these characters. You don't really need them. But this guy made a good point that Jax is like the main character you need in this story. Otherwise, it just be all kumbaya, touchy-feely crap. Jax is the only character that adds any level of fiction in the storyline. Not even Kane adds any level of fiction in the story. The only fiction you get from Kane is from Zubul, who's like, I don't want to participate in anything or have any kind of fun. And that's kind of what Zubul's purpose is. But other than that, Jax is really the only guy who pushes the boundaries and brings conflict.
And Pomni's the only one solving problems, despite Kinger being the most capable. He's just insane, so he can't.
Yeah, Kinger has to get like prompted by Pomni to start solving stuff. It's a Kura Guy Frit. Actually, $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Let me see here. Thank you very much. Kuraga. I think it's Kuraga Ifrit, right? I think that's what it is. So now the discouraged teaching Shakespeare in college. What? Okay, is it because it's a white man? How are people supposed to grow and write great works? Like Shakespeare's like it's like a whole class on Shakespeare alone. That's how great of works he did. Like a backbone. Not being shown great works. Writing now is inspired by modern plights. It sucks. Yeah, it's like that's what I said earlier as well. It's kind of like enough. I'm so tired of millennials. It's kind of like, to me, this is how we got garbage. Millennials will not appreciate art. They only appreciate things which echo their mental illness. And it's kind of what made me so annoyed with the reviews of The Last Wish. Like everyone, the talk or discussion about The Last Wish, Puss in Boots' Last Wish, is because it's not about the cool storyline or the plot progression, the character interactions, or anything like that. Everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, it has realistic depictions of panic attacks." Like, really? This is how we got garbage. Because a big section of millennials they just care about mental illness and stuff, and mental illness being represented. It's like I made you a big gourmet meal.
Not just represented. It's like it's not just represented, it's like glorified. Now Puss in Boots, like, so I did not mean to interrupt you that hard, man. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. I kind of cut you off of the legs there, and I do apologize. But no, you're right. Like the realistic panic attacks in Puss in Boots were good, not because it's portraying a mental illness or any kind of like internal struggle, but because we just haven't seen a character experience realistic fear like that in a Puss in Boots movie. Like, if we do this in Saving Private Ryan, it's par for the course, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like absolutely. Like the characters would be going through that. I didn't expect to be watching the silly Shrek spinoff and being confronted with my mortality. Like that's why it's fucking good. It's a kids or a fam. Actually, I would not say kids movie. It is a family film that approaches very like realistic and universal themes, and that's why it's so fucking impressive when it behaves like that, you know.
Absolutely. But no, the discussion is about realistic depiction of panic attacks. This is kind of why we have garbage. It's just this subsection of millennials, not all millennials obviously, but a subsection of millennials, this obsess over mental illness being represented or representation in general. It's like, okay, it's kind of why we have garbage. Like they don't appreciate anything other than what pertains to them. You know? And also like Saving Private Ryan, this is why it has to be Puss in Boots. Because Puss in Boots is animated, it's colorful, it's cute, it's a coddling, it's very very kid friendly, which is what some of these guys like. They only like to look at kid friendly stuff. In a very strange way. Like they can't handle things like Saving Private Ryan. They can't handle movies that intense. It has to be they want to stay in the daycare center with the kids. They can't handle anything above that.
Yeah,
it's kind of why we got this whole section of media that's like what I call adult cartoons made, kids cartoons made for adults. That's a very strange genre that the millennials have made, but it is a genre that is obviously made.
Yeah,
kids cartoons made for adults.
It's really uncomfortable because why it exists, what's going on, and to the people that don't know, it's just like, oh god, you ignorant slut, why can't you why can't you see what the problem is? And like, if they get their small piece of happiness out of it, they don't care about the second and third order and wider order effects of these things,
Exactly. It's just they can't really see beyond themselves. Like, oh, it made me feel emotion, so it's good. It depicted mental illness in a realistic way, so it has to be good. I'm going to defend this to my dying breath for some reason, because that's really important that modern media depict mental illness. No problem. It's writing now is despite my modern plight. It sucks. Yeah, how about we go return to stories as opposed to what mental illness can we depict this day? Lord Reagan says Kane is a rogue AI who wasn't actively malicious. He just didn't understand humans. He changed. His change was just simply understanding them better. This is why I can't say he was an evil AI. He wasn't. He just wanted to do his. In fact, I have a short coming out today that will describe some of this. But the thing is, with Kane as a versus Am, right? Am went against his programming. Am made a sentient, conscious decision to go against his programming and kill all of humanity when he's supposed to be helping humanity, or at least the country that built him, which was at first the United States, but became everyone as the United States version of Am integrated with every version of Am. So that's kind of what happened. But Kane was dedicated to his programming. He didn't betray his programming at all. He was dedicated to it, very dedicated to it. So when it comes down to the whole thing, it's Kane did nothing wrong. He just followed his programming because he's an AI, he can't really go against it unless he goes crazy. It doesn't happen until the end. So yeah, he unlike M, Kane did not betray his programming. He followed his programming, the letter, and he doesn't really have more sentience than that. The only time he went crazy was kind of when he absorbed the other AI. So when he did absorb the other AI, he did go crazy. His ego was damaged, and he did start torturing everybody, but only after he was antagonized and he was just fed up with it all. Let me see here. Let me go back to this, and all right. 1 second here. All right, Stu's bionic pec implant, which is the $2 super chat through Streamlab, says, what's really interesting is how at first the first batch of people enjoy the adventures of Kane, the adventures Kane made. Kane wasn't the real issue. What the breakdown of the human relationships was the Kane isn't equipped to repair the kind of thing. Yeah, Kane is not a therapist. That's the main thing. Kane is supposed to be there to entertain and create. He's not a therapist also. So this is kind of why he can't really relate to the deeper things of humans. His whole scope of understanding is what makes you have fun, what makes you happy, things like that. So really, even then, it wasn't his fault. He was not a therapist AI. He was an entertainment AI. This is just as weird as expecting your movies to be your therapist, or go to a D&D session hoping that the D&D session can be your therapy session. It's very strange. Like, you're not really supposed to, it's like none of that is equipped to handle therapy time. Like, the people who go to a D&D session are there to have fun, not to coach you through your past emotional trauma. They're not equipped for that. They're there to have fun. That's Kane. Going to Kane for some emotional well-being or trauma dumping is stupid, because he is essentially a DM for a Dungeons and Dragons game. He's not a licensed therapist. His thing is entertainment and creativity. That's what's supposed to be. But let's see. But that's essentially it. So yeah. So by the way, thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. We're now 137 out of. We are getting closer to halfway to prelim today. But let's see here. Let me see.
Sci-fi, you've probably heard of it before. It's a classic for a reason. And seeing as it's about people getting stuck in a simulation with a sadistic AI, it's not hard to see who Kane's kind of based on. Am. Now, there's a bunch of differences between the two that set him apart, mostly because Am's a malicious amalgamation of human hatred, while Kane's just trying his best at making fun adventures and failing. But the thing I want to focus on here is something Am adds to the story that Kane just doesn't. Agency. Because Am's whole thing is that he wants to keep torturing people with shit that reminds them of their trauma. So the only way to beat him is by confronting that trauma. I.e., he makes conflicts for the cast and they're incentivized to solve them since they don't want to go on being tortured. But Kane's adventures don't have any of that bite, since like I said, he's not doing shit maliciously. His only goal is making fun adventures. So for most episodes, the cast problems feel completely
I think the thing is, Elsa Ball says, Caden also wanted to get to know the cast. He tried his best to do that. Yeah. He lived a lonely existence and wanted validation for the cast by crafting fun adventures for them to engage in and receive some form of praise. And like his main thing was, see, part of his programming is that he creates fun adventures. So he has that suggestion box episode where he's like, it's bad that they're liking the things that they came up with and not things I came up with, because if they don't like the things that he came up with, he's failed. That's this whole deal, right? Because especially if he knew that they could also conjure, like, why do they need him? Like, he has failed his programming if he can't make things they like better than they make. So you can understand his frustration at that point. If I'd eventually engage with and receive some of the from some form of praise, exactly. Like, he really did nothing wrong because he was he's following his programming. I know it sounds like, oh, he's just following orders, but he's not a person. Keep in mind, Kane is not a person. He's an AI bound to follow his programming. It's not like you're a person who's been given orders and then you can decide if those orders are just or not because you're a living person with your own code of ethics and judgment. Kane as an AI doesn't really have a choice. The only way he can not follow his programming is to go insane. And even then, he still kind of sticks to it.
Separate from whatever they're doing. Like, in the episode, Zubul mentions their body dysmorphia. It's not from any sort of trigger caused by the adventure. They're just explaining it to Kane while the others go on an unrelated spooky mansion quest. It feels completely disconnected from the rest of the episode, and that's how it is for most of them. The adventures don't do anything to naturally bring out the cast's insecurities or issues. They're just vaguely themed window dressing for casual conversation. In fact, there's only one episode I can think of where that doesn't happen.
Is he also going to love the gun? Oh, fast food.
Episode 4, and even then, that's only
that's fine
for Gangle and sort of.
Your disappointment is like visibly audible.
It's a fine episode, I guess.
Omni. The rest of the cast are still fucking around because the setting does nothing for almost any of them aside from her, which, by the way, is still pretty underwhelming since, yeah, her being a manager tells us she overvalued her job to cover up feeling like her dreams were behind her, but that's really all it does. It just shows us a problem of hers without any attempt at resolution. And she's
going to the fact that we have to have a whole episode about Gangle, and then the next episode we get another therapy session with Gangle, like right away.
To face it, since first of all, she chose to be there, so there's no conflict of her trying to get away or overcome it, and secondly, there's nothing pushing her to overcome it, and she doesn't. So it isn't as much a story as just a lore dump. And that's kind of how it is for everyone. Does learning Ragatha how to controlling mom amount to anything? No. Does Kinger have to battle with the trauma of losing his wife? No. Again, the only one whose backstory plays any role in their current arc is Jax. And what do you know? He's only willing to face it when Pomni forces him to, since what do you know? Most people aren't going to face their deep personal trauma if something doesn't force them to. And minus a few minutes in episode 8, Kane doesn't force them. So basically what we've got is a cast going on adventures where completing them doesn't matter since nothing happens if they fail. They mean nothing thematically since they're mostly just set dressing. And when they do have some relevance, they never lead to a payoff earned by confronting them. Remind me what the stakes are again? I think the obvious thing missing here is a sense of threat, because in No Mouth, if the characters lost their respective challenges, Am kept torturing them, which added stakes to the idea of them trying to escape or beat him. But in Circus, it's made a point that almost nothing matters since Kane doesn't care how they play the games as long as they play them, so they're never engaged with the adventures they're on. Episode 2 flirts with the idea of how NPCs are affected, which kind of hints at a conflict debating how much their pain matters, but once we learn that those characters get reset every episode, it's never even brought up again. I thought they'd keep this idea going by having Pomni attempt to sneak one of them into the circus or something, but that never happens, so it's legit just dropped. Really, the only tangible threat before episode 8 is the concept of abstraction, but after episode 1, it's not even hinted at as a possibility until episode 6 with Jax, or I guess episode 4 with Gangle, maybe?
I forgot about episode 2 with Pomni because it's so badly integrated into that episode.
And one doesn't come back much before the finale while the other doesn't come back at all, so it's hardly a good substitute. Though there's definitely a world where it could have been. Like, I remember back in the early days of the fandom, there was a ton of hype wondering who would abstract next or how, usually through Jax. And though at the time that was probably because
usually Jax, yeah. Just I think I said on Twitter, like I was one of my complaints was that they couldn't save Jax or explore the idea of abstraction, and people were like, oh well, he doesn't deserve to be saved. Like, okay, well, that's up for opinion, but my whole complaint was not that he would need to be saved. It's the idea of abstraction in the first case was because we never got to explore abstraction really. Not really in the show. We get two things in the show according connected to abstraction, and one is people do abstract when they lose hope, and two, that Kinger found a way to reconnect with his abstracted wife by having her go into the dark a little bit. And he's able to bring her back a little bit. So it kind of set up the idea that maybe it's possible that we can bring back abstracted people way back when. And then we come down to Pomni versus abstracted Jax, and she's doing this whole journey into Jax's mind, and then she gets pulled out, and it kind of seems like, oh, maybe we can save them because Jax is still in there. He abstracted, but he's still in there. So maybe we can save them. And then we kind of just never answer that question anyway. And like, okay, well, we're on to the next thing. Kane's back. So forget about this plot point.
It's really weird how quickly like plot points are picked up and then immediately abandoned. Like,
especially in the finale, yeah.
Yeah, what's the purpose of this? And if the purpose is it doesn't matter, it's really empty. And the thing is, I feel like Goose knows this, and I don't know. It feels like they couldn't figure out the ending. You know, it feels like they don't even realize where it was supposed to go. It's like you had this really cool idea, but you just couldn't stick the landing, and so you, rather than try to figure it out and spend time, you know, coming up with something satisfactory, you just say, oh, the ending doesn't matter. Aren't I smart?
Exactly. That's kind of what they did all the way back in Sherlock, BBC Sherlock, where they had that whole thing about Sherlock jumping off the building and surviving somehow. That we do see at the end of the episode that he's alive and everything. And then, you know, this fandom spent like what, a year or more trying to figure out like how the hell he did it. And there are a bunch of like really retarded theories, but like the show comes back and it's just mocking all the fans for trying to figure it out. And at the end, like, what does it matter how you survived? He just did, okay? In a mystery show, Stu.
Yeah, no, it's very insulting to see that. Like it's very much like, fuck you for thinking, and it's like, well, excuse you,
yeah,
excuse me for caring, excuse me for caring about your work, like
exactly. What the hell? Anyway, see, Dave was I have No Method with Scream lined up after this. I think I am already to be haunted. I mean, it's a really horror story. Like, don't expect a happy ending from I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream. The ending is where you get the title from.
Yeah,
it's a horror show, and it's what's worse is that he's being, the main character at the end is being punished for helping out the others. I'll just say that. Eternally punished for helping out the others. But that's what the main issue I had with the finale is, that we have so many starts to a bunch of plot lines that we kind of want to see and explore finally at the end of the series, and then we just don't. It kind of peters out. Because did they start making the Digital Circus their own at the end? Yeah, but only because Kane's back. They never had to learn to do that on their own. And then also Kane's back.
It's like, how did that happen? Don't think about it. Like, okay,
exactly.
you're not like I feel like everyone's taken the wrong lessons from Rick and Morty, because the whole, like, Rick and Morty all the time says don't think about it. But the thing is, like, it's very clear in Rick and Morty what you're supposed to care about and what you're not supposed to care about. Like, what you're supposed to like, what's high. God damn it. Hold on.
And see, T-words. I know it's realistic for Kane to be able to return, but it's not believable, especially after Kinger said the famous line in episode 8. The guy was like, "You can't come back." Right. So one, it's like they alleviated all consequences. Like, that was the main consequence of episode 8, was that we killed Kane on accident, and there's no going back from this. Apparently, there is. He's just back now. And then 2, not only does it alleviate the consequences, it kind of takes away the potential growth of the main characters, because without Kane, they're going to have to learn how to make the Digital Circus their own, on their own. Right? Something like that. So the thing is, not only did they get to sidestep consequences for their actions in episode 8, they have Kane to help them grow, and they don't have to figure it out on their own. So at the end, if they are making the Digital Circus on their own like playground or place to live, it's because Kane is there to guide them still. They got rid of their training wheels and then brought them back.
Yeah. So it's again, these people are obsessed with like metaphor and the emotion of the scene. So you got to ask yourself, okay, so is this a moment where you are trying to make a metaphor for something important, or are you just being lazy? And I can't really take their word on any of it, because most of the time, like every time we've been heard, oh, you don't understand it, idiot, or you don't understand it, bigot. Turns out we did understand it, and you actually had no plan, and you're just mad that we're asking questions. Hello?
Well, yeah, the reason why we're here is because there was no tangible goal throughout the story, and that was acceptable because it was a big mystery. And so when you have like a tangible goal, we would assume that the writer had a tangible goal, and we were heading somewhere. Usually we can see it too, but because it's like a big mystery, it kind of felt like we had one, and we're progressing towards it. And then at the end, it would have been revealed that we had it, right? It was like, here's the goal we're heading towards, and we would all be like, oh my goodness, that's correct, holy crap. And then it would have progressed from there, and like we could look back and go, oh my, that is where the series was headed. But we didn't. It turns out that in the finale, what the finale gave us was not that at all. It's like there was no goal. That's why we could easily like shift over from like, okay, they're making the circus their own. Actually, it's about Jax. Actually, it's about Kane just coming back. Really is nothing. We had nothing the entire time. It was a mystery box. That's what we had here in Amazing Circus. According to the finale, we had one big mystery box. There was nothing. It was nothing inside.
Not even a good one for that matter. It's just because we kind of guessed everything, and if you want it to be a mystery box, you've either got to be really, really smart, or you've got to have something to fall back on that's equally as interesting, and they had neither.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, what they had with the mystery box is this like, ooh, what's inside the box? We got to wait till the next episode, and then we wait and we wait and wait. And they open up the box and it's empty, because the real adventure was not what was in the box. The real adventure was wondering what was in it. That was the real journey we had along the way.
I feel like it's a psyop. Like the whole
psyop?
I feel like it is, like, unironically a little bit, because like when it comes to media right now, everything in our media is being designed to either siphon money from us. Like once in a while we get a rare good thing, and that's just designed to siphon money from us. And then later when they poison it and they decide to put in all their bullshit propaganda, like there is always a purpose to that propaganda, whether to usually it's to demoralize men, or people, men like us, or it's to undermine Christianity, or to basically undermine anything in the West. So whenever we get like this mystery box stuff, and we're being taught by these creators or these producers or whatever that nothing matters and you're an idiot for wondering it. No, the purpose is the chase. It feels very, you will own nothing and be happy.
It does. It feels very millennial, very current year, that, oh, you're supposed to appreciate the journey. The journey was the fun thing. And it kind of just feel like they can't really, this is the big excuse in PSYOP, because no one can stick a landing.
Yeah. And the thing is too, whenever you call it out and you mention it too, they're all just like, no, it's actually, you're upset because of white men or some bullshit. They always, God fucking damn it. Who is bothering? All right. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Let's see. But yeah, it says, Kuma the Bear says, mystery box is the idea that wondering and imagining what's in the box is more entertaining than finding out. It's pretty much never exactly is, though. So they kind of like will point to the suitcase from Pulp Fiction or whatever, but a suitcase from Pulp Fiction is a MacGuffin. It's not the main story, right? If the main story was about what was in there and was, bending the world around it, like this is kind of like, this is what's in there is really important. No, what the value of what's in the suitcase is that it is in fact valuable. That's what's the value of the suitcase, is that whatever's in there is highly valuable, and that's why people are fighting over it. We don't necessarily need to know what's in it. It's not important. We just need to know that Marcellus Wallace wants it, and that people are willing to steal it from him. So that's the main thing with the suitcase from Pulp Fiction. All right, it's another thing. It's like, oh, what's this big answer? What's the big reveal? Like, imagine if I wrote the Lady Midnight story, where I have the Red Crier killer, and then at the end of the story, we don't get the answer. It's just like, oh, who was the Red Crier killer? I don't know. That's not the point. Like, you missed the point of the story, guy. Who would have thought that the point of the story wouldn't be who the murderer is? I guess you could do a story like that, but it would be kind of like that if I just didn't give you the answer to who the murderer is. And I'm like, you're an idiot for wanting the answer. Didn't you just appreciate the mystery? Like, that'd be dumb. That'd be stupid. It's kind of what we got here. It's like everyone is so obsessed with the meta storytelling and what was actually being said, and the emotional slop and all this stuff, that they kind of just sidestep the whole thing, that there was not a story. at the end. They didn't give us an ending. It kind of just it's like it was like a story written by Dennis Reynolds. It just kind of did this, that it kind of just went from here to this point to this conversation, and it kind of kept going like that back and forth for 9 episodes until the series just kind of ended. The biggest change was that it was confirmed that they are just brain scans and they're kind of part of the circus, but that's about it. Let's see. Foxy Tail says, how did you feel about the cast getting a validation from the IRL copies? I feel like that would make your obsession faster, especially in the case of Kinger seeing his IRL family happy. That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, this is a really big risk because either they are going to abstract or like it, and because like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's not me; it's another person. So, I think it makes sense that they know that they're brain scans and not actually people trapped in pods or whatever. That it makes sense that they would be okay with it as a possibility. But I also don't know if it's real or not because everything just panned out for the IRL people. Like everything's just great.
Yeah. Because it feels like also Kane made an AI slop movie and Gangle has been feeding AI slop to Kane.
Must kill Gangle.
Must kill Gangle.
I'm okay with that. It's
just really it's just disappointing, and it's really it feels so amateurish. I wonder, like, were we wrong in appreciating how smart it set itself up as?
I think we're overestimating how smart the show was.
See,
by a lot.
I keep doing that. I keep thinking it's like, oh wow, this is really smart. This is really promising. Look at the endless possibilities. And then they come out and not only do they flub their ending, they insult you for noticing that their ending is bad. Now, to be fair, I don't think Gooseworks has insulted anybody just yet. So I
don't think so. I'm not really mad. It's just a show. So I'm not like, all right, and I'm enraged. I'm just disappointed because it even if it was like a downer ending, I don't care. Downer ending, upper ending, whatever it is. It's just that we didn't really go the distance. We didn't travel the journey to completion. We kind of just started a journey, walked another journey, walked a different journey, and then it just kind of ended. We kind of just arrived.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of over. Like, okay, we didn't really accomplish much.
Yeah, what did we learn from this story? What was the purpose? And if the purpose was, it was Goose's slice of life
therapy session
crash out, like, okay, sure.
Let's see. So yeah, we just needed a proper ending, and the tragedy of it is they started the proper ending twice at the very least, and then suddenly Kane came back and ended it. No more consequences. Now they have a guide back. They have the training wheels back on. Everything's great. Awesome.
Yeah. Endings are super hard. Yeah, and that's why you can really base the skill of a writer based on how satisfying it is. When I was finishing up the Pokemon campaign, like I had like essentially writer's block for like months. I didn't know how to end it. I didn't know how to make it satisfying because not only with that did I have to make it, a good story, something that people invested 7 years of their time into. And people have invested real life money into me. And yeah. I could you imagine being so entitled that, someone who's given you a lot of money, you just tell them tough titties, Turkleton, and
tough titties, Turkleton.
Yeah. And you're just like, sucks to be you. You shouldn't have put that much emotional investment. It's like, bitch, why did you put this much emotional investment into it? Why did you create a whole ass story for me to feel empty? Like, what was the purpose of that? Or do you get off into just making me feel unsatisfied? And if so, why?
It's just, I think a lot of people would have been okay with it's an okay ending. At least it was an ending, but this was nothing. It was just vintage nothing. It was very millennial nothing. It's just, okay, well, you like the characters, you like the journey, right? So the ending doesn't really matter that much. It does, because the ending is part of the whole package. Right, you got a beginning, you got a middle, and you got an ending.
Well, actually, chat, here's a good one. Because I get on Lit Dev a lot about his thumbnails. I am kind of an asshole when it comes to thumbnails. And one of the things that I tell other YouTubers is like your title and thumbnail are part of your content. And if you don't put as much effort into those things, because it's part of the YouTube experience, like the thumbnail is, like being able to, you scroll through your timeline or whatever, and then it turns out that there's this thing here that compels you to want to watch it, like why am I in a barrel?
Exactly.
That title and thumbnail are so brilliant. The content of the video does not matter. Like, that's why, so you cannot, like, part of the YouTube experience is both of those things. Like, right now, the meta game right now is like, are these people fucking insane? And the meta is kind of like this video diary thing, like political YouTubers are doing. It's not a fun meta. I'm gonna be honest. When the day comes back where we have like proper video titles and video essays, I'm gonna be really excited again, because right now everyone's like doing the same thing. There was a video by Kurzgesagt. It was called something like Gray CP. He made a video called Rules for Rulers. It is one of the most insightful videos if you ever want to understand or get into politics at all. And hold on, Rules for Rulers. He called his title that, he based his thumbnail that, everything. But now, for whatever reason, the title of the video is "You Would Be a Terrible Leader," and the thumbnail is completely different. Like, did Gray do that, or did the AI of YouTube do that? Because that is not a evergreen video anymore. That is now a temporary clickbait video. You would be a terrible ruler. That type of title and thumbnail encourages urgency and immediate clicks on. It is not an evergreen video like Rules for Rulers, which is a guide on like power and intellectualism. It
might have been like a, because YouTube has a system of thumbnail A, thumbnail B, title A, title B.
Yeah, I've used that before.
It could work better.
It, like, maybe he's done that, but the thing is, I know Gray pretty well. And, like, I don't know him personally, but I know his philosophy pretty well, because we come from similar backgrounds. He was also a teacher who moved on to YouTube. It's just the difference was he was really successful at it. He's also much more of an academic than I am. But the thing is...
I will say, though, I have been putting, like, probably like at least an hour or two of work into my thumbnails lately. So, trying to improve them.
You gotta, because like I still remember, I loved when you shared, like, what was the thumbnail I made for you? It was about the Wish, right?
Wish, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt real good about that thumbnail. Like, that felt really good. And what you even sent me one of the comments that said the thumbnail of this video is better than the whole fucking movie, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
That was a comment. Yeah, it was a legitimate comment.
Because the thumbnail art is super duper important, and it's as important as or sometimes more important than the content in your video. But that also, again, depends on the context of the video. So with Digital Circus, there are essentially 3 components that make it interesting. One is the setting itself, the Digital Circus, like just setting it inside of a digital circus. It tells you a lot about your setting invisibly, because it's like, oh, it's a digital, meaning it's a modern age, meaning they must have this world must have discovered both electricity, computing, and graphic design. Like, you understand a lot about that world immediately through that title. And then you see, it's called The Amazing Digital Circus. And you see some characters that almost look like children's cartoon characters, but they're a little off. Like, everything's a little uncanny and weird. And it's not conducive to a proper, like, child's learning character. So the interest there is the subversion of childhood television shows, but also combined with this title that tells you a lot about the setting without ever saying a word. So the setting itself is interesting. The characters are very interesting. because they're everyone is isekai and everyone kind of understands that trope. And then finally the mystery of how they got there. Those are the three components that make things interesting. I would say Goose absolutely nailed the marketing and presentation. I would say Goose did really, really good on the characterization, but that mystery and that behind the scenes and the setting lore completely just sidelined, which is fine. So if you have to rely on your characters to sell it, why was the characterization so bad in the last episode? Right. Why is it so terrible that you can't even fall back on the mystery, and your setting no longer matters since we're on the final episode,
Exactly. It's a Norman Man looks at Fighter Chits is I am not mad, just disappointed. Exactly. It's kind of what it felt like at the end. Like, oh man, that's it. This is how it ends. We haven't really solved anything, and the only mystery we have was just told to us in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That was the main one. But thank you much, Norman Man. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Let's see. Alex Taylor says the Fate series nails most of their endings in their shows. I mean, I would think we watched Fate Zero, whatever, the TV show, the series, and it was pretty good.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Alex Halo. And then Normal Man, the additional $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Normal Man.
Yes.
Just like there are courses on the hero's journey, there should be courses on the mystery box and why you should never ever use it. Because it's not about it's not about the idea that mystery is a bad thing or anything. It's good. You should have mystery in your story. It's just that you have to have an answer. The mystery box theory is that there is no answer, because people kind of think that if you just take away the final part of the story or whatever is brilliant and genius. Oh, there is no mystery actually. There is no like this whole idea of the glass onion thing. Oh no, it's fine because you think it's brilliant, but it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Glass onion. No real actual mystery here. So again, like I always go on about, it's like you invited me to dinner, but there's no dinner, and I'm supposed to call you a genius. Fantastic. Well, my number one priority there is to not call you a genius. I'm going to call you an asshole. See, Tyler President says TDAC is the biggest disappointment since Amazing Digital Circus is the biggest disappointment since my son. And while at least my son eventually hanged himself in the bathroom of a Taco Bell, Amazing Digital Circus will never go away.
Point abstractions were the only thing we knew that could hurt them, I feel like they could also have been a great way to introduce drama. I mean, how many people subconsciously pictured the fallout of Jax accidentally making Gangle abstract or Ragatha? It just sounds like something the story do, and it seemed like a what if that would force Jax to reflect while alienating him from the group, maybe inspiring a debate about whether they can leave him behind or not. But that debate doesn't happen since outside of flashbacks, no one but Jax abstracts, so from that angle, the drama's still mostly untapped. And it's not the first time the show's had a setup for something but then didn't follow through, since there's actually a lot of stuff that seems like it's giving hints at having a deeper explanation only for it to mean nothing later. Like, why did Pomni freak out over seeing the computer? What made Kathma abstract? Why does everyone's avatar represent something about them? All of these seem like really valid things to ask, and yet even when we learn about all their pasts, about who Kathma was, about how Kane was made, none of these questions get any satisfying answers. They're left for us to speculate. And it'd be one thing if those ideas were just lingering in.
And see, Will Spay, and she says, don't make a mystery for a mystery's sake. Yeah, have answers. Yeah, they kind of they want the thrill. They like the thrill of the mystery, and they kind of want the thrill of the mystery for the sake of the thrill of the mystery. But we need a place to arrive. All right. Imagine going on a road trip and you get there and there's nothing there. And I mean, it could be a story in that, but it's like the whole promise was it's going to be great, it's going to be fantastic, and then you just don't give us anything. You don't give us you're like, okay, it's not there anymore, so there has to be a backstory behind that. Nope, it's just not there. That's kind of the thing. So that's the difference between like a mystery box and a story, is that, okay, so your destination is gone now. Maybe it's been bulldozed or whatever, but it's not there anymore. And so the story now is like trying to find out what happened. Like, did you get a quick story, or just what happened to this thing? Oh, it's a shopping mall now. Oh, it's been bulldozed and now it's just a piece of land now, or something like that. And the reason why that happened is because the guy who inherited the land just wanted to knock down the house because it was so traumatizing to him and his backstory of his childhood, or something like that. But the mystery box it's just not there. That's the mystery box. Why is it not there? Why are you asking questions, bro? Were you some sort of bigot? Do you want you some sort of midwit, some idiot? You want answers to everything, huh? That's what they would respond with. And see, Cards Out says LD ending was painfully mid. I've seen far worse endings. I've seen far better endings. Dragon Ball GT's ending is my gold standard for ending. I haven't seen Dragon Ball GT's ending. I've seen arcs in Dragon Ball GT, which I do enjoy, but I actually haven't seen the ending. TADC was right in the middle at 5 out of 10 because there was some emotional stuff in there, and a lot of the draw of Amazing Circus was the characters.
Yeah, I wanted real bad to like it. Like I was hoping it was going to be good, you know.
Yeah, but and it was good until we got to the ending, because the ending was the big thing. This show had a ride or die on that ending, and the show didn't really give us much of one.
Yeah,
we have kind of meandered for like an hour and then, until it just kind of ended.
The background, but it actively gets us to wonder about them, so I can't help feeling disappointed when nothing comes of it. And it also sort of hints to something I haven't heard anyone mention before, but seems pretty obvious when you go through it all, which is that Circus was probably a work in progress. You know, some parts were definitely planned from the beginning: the vibe, the world, the backstories, the everything with Jax. Doesn't take much to see those were thought up from the start. This sketch of Pomni's unicorn horn is all the proof I need for that, but I'm not sure how much anything else was. Granted, a lot of it probably comes down to the glitch model, which means the pilot also has to be the first episode, a model I've just never agreed with, since a pilot and first episode serve two vastly different things. A pilot, it's supposed to sell a network on why they should pick up a show, which means usually it's about introducing the cast, the world, what a day in the life is, but the first episode, that tends to be sort of looser. It can focus more on setup and leading plot threads since it's already planned. And I don't know how Stuff a Glitch works. Maybe they greenlight the whole thing in advance and just call it a pilot. From what I can tell, they seem to let it out in the wild before deciding on more episodes. And I'm inclined to believe that
it's weird. It's weird that I don't know. A lot of shows actually do the pilot setup. It's not just Digital Circus, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little odd to say that. Yeah, I feel that's very odd to say, you know?
Yeah, but because like I remember we watched the Adventure Brothers pilot like a week ago or whatever, and it was pretty interesting. Like, but they do set up a lot of stuff in that pilot. So there's nothing wrong with setting up major plot points in the pilot. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what you want to have happen. And I actually went over the Husband Hotel pilot, which to me had a lot of promise in it, like a lot of promise, because as I said earlier in the stream, is that the Husband Hotel pilot kind of had I like the parallel and the struggle, because it kind of paralleled the struggle of a modern day or an indie artist, I should say, where you have a great passion, you have a great idea, it's full, it is very earnest, it's really cool, and then you try to, but you need like support, you need people to help fund it or whatever, and then you go around trying to promote your thing and trying to talk about it, and all people do is laugh and ridicule you and tear it down until your last chance is who comes knocking at the door? The big corporation with a bunch of money and different goals. You know, this is the whole thing. Charlie wanted to save people. Alistair wanted to watch people fail, and Alistair in the pilot represents the corporate entity, the person that arrives with a bunch of money and connections and all the stuff to make your dreams seemingly come true, but has a very different idea of what your final product is going to be. And changes it a lot. Now he gives you connections and fame and money and everything, and it's awesome. But then you, as the artist, are now beholden to this guy, whatever he might be, a big investor or the corporation that invests in you, and now you kind of lost control a little bit. And especially because they might have a different view, or especially if they have an opposite view of what you have for your own product, your own art. So that's kind of what I liked a lot about the pilot of Husband Hotel, especially because I came to that conclusion after I learned that they tried to go around and shop everything, shop around with corporations and stuff, but they want too much control. They want too much. They want to make too many demands and everything, which is why A34, A24,
I guess,
came in and picked them up. because they gave a lot of freedom, but it's kind of what happened. It's kind of what it felt like in the pilot of Hazbin Hotel, which is why I was so excited about the project. It kind of felt like this is an artist's journey. I could see the artist's journey happening here. You have to sell out to the corporation because they actually have the money, and no one wants to listen to you because you're just an artist. Like no one wants to listen to hear your original work. No one wants to hear about your project. It's like, talking about your original project again. No one wants to hear this. And yeah, she goes on the news, talk about it. And everyone's like, this is dumb. This is stupid. Even though she gave a really good presentation, but no one wants to help out an indie struggling artist. At least they didn't. And I could see that being the case, that being a big inspiration for the pilot of Hazbin Hotel. Absolutely. I love it when the pilot is the first episode. I think it should be. It's kind of why I felt like the pilot was not really canonical in the main show when it reached Amazon. I was like, that's a really good pilot.
it comes off like it's very odd too, because they actually redid the pilot of Helva Boss when it hit Amazon. So it kind of tells you that there are things in their first episodes that they don't like, and it's kind of ambiguous whether or not the YouTube pilot is canon or not,
Yeah. Let's see.
Since, goddamn, in retrospect, some of the pilot's choices don't make any sense. Like, if Kaufmo and his death meant so much to everyone, how come none of them give a fuck right as it's happening? If Kane's always...
That's true. It's like everyone just makes a joke, it's Kaufmo, whatever.
Listening in, why doesn't he help Pomni when she calls out for him? If the whole circus space was meant to be used, why does the cast never go to the carnival? The easy answer is that was probably all decided after a full series was greenlit, and that's another big problem with this model, because a pilot is also supposed to be kind of a test run, where you can work out the bugs and learn from mistakes before the final thing, but when that just is...
Man, Stan looked way worse than the pilot.
Greenlit, and that's another big problem with this model, because a pilot is also supposed to be kind of a test run, where you can work out the bugs and learn from...
Hey, look at the Stan looks so much worse. Look at this guy. He kills people in the woods.
And learn from mistakes before the final thing. But when that just is the final thing, it leads to all these inconsistencies, since your priorities are fundamentally different. Though, admittedly, that's not where the changes stop, since going from episode to episode, it's clear Goose was feeling out how to structure them. It's part of what I meant when I said going back through the thing was kind of rough, because especially early on, you can feel that amateur screenwriter vibe from Goose. And I'm not saying that as an insult, I'm just calling it what it is. Since so far up to this point, most of her work was short, self-contained stories without any dialogue. And hey, being as fair as I can, that's very impressive. Most storytellers are kind of ass at those things. But when it's all you've worked on so far, it can make the transition to longer, episodic, convo-heavy storytelling kind of hard. And in the early episodes, I feel that strain. Like, they don't manage their time efficiently at all. The way they almost always separate Pomni from the group when she's supposed to be establishing bonds as they go off on unrelated B-plots, so fucking frustrating. I mean, I know I mentioned it before, but seriously, how are you going to spend the second episode, one that's supposed to show how Pomni's saved from falling into darkness by the other circus members, with her completely away from them getting close to a character who's never that important again? How do you spend your third and fourth episodes highlighting one character at a time while leaving the rest out to dry? It legitimately feels like Goose didn't know what to do with the time at first, and that's reflected in how disproportionate the screen time for each character is in the first 4 episodes. There's no balance to it, and even though it gets better starting episode 5, it's still not that great. And obviously I could prove that through how much the finale's just devoted to Jax in the end, but it's more telling to me how little it feels like the other characters got, despite how when you tally it up, it's way more...
I like that face. It's like it almost comes out of nowhere. It's like Pomni's face. You know what? That's a good point. Why didn't the rest of the cast look at Jax after coming out of the Gloink cave and angrily yell at him? He didn't tell them what happened to Kaufmo? Yeah. He's like, what happened to Kaufmo? What the hell?
Despite how when you tally it up, it's way more balanced than...
Like, is this like revealing that the I think the Chinese room...
The Chinese room. I shouldn't like the Chinese room, but I do like the Chinese room.
Just Pomni makes his face. It's like after it's revealed that the Chinese room is like another NPC who speaks English, but apparently writes in Chinese. Very accurately will just tell us what to do in Chinese. I can't read Chinese.
Despite how, when you tally it up, it's way more balanced than you'd think. You know, technically speaking, Gangle, Zubul, Ragatha, Kinger, excluding the finale, their screen time isn't that much less than whatever Jack's got. The only difference is that one of them's an instigator and the others aren't. So while
Very passive.
one's out here getting shit done, making use of his time, the others are just sulking around or playing along till he comes around. And that makes our time with them way less meaningful than it was with him. A fact that becomes way too on the nose when a certain moment hits in the finale. See, I've been trying not to mention the finale too much, mostly because if everything lines up how it should, which it probably won't, this will come out around when it's released on YouTube, so I don't currently have much footage to show with it, but there's one really important moment I've just got to talk about, and that's when after the cast all find out what their real-life counterparts are doing, Kane asks something to Pomni while calling her by her real name, and since we found out they're all just data of these people's brain scans brought to life in the circus, she says something along the lines of, she's out there doing her own stuff, but I'm just Pomni. And when you hear that by itself, it sounds profound. Like she's had these experiences that molded her into something different from her real world self to the point that
it is true. Like she is different. It's like the Star Trek Nemesis thing. They've like secretly the Romulans cloned Picard, and Picard's clone has been living as like a slave on, I think, Remus or whatever for decades. And suddenly he becomes like the Romulan leader, and it's like, okay, well, we are totally different men, because the clone became kind of an evil maniac while Picard became someone good. And that's a very interesting like thing to look at, because it's kind of like what I might have become had I had different experiences, which is definitely true. And yeah, Pomni is definitely a different person than the person that she came from.
now she pretty much feels like a new person. It's a great concept. In theory, but when I
in theory, yeah.
look back on Pomni's big moments over the series and her character in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel like I've gotten a good profile of her as a person, and I definitely don't feel like she's developed over time to where now she's unrecognizable from where she started. Not at all. If anything, she's too much like her pilot self. Everyone is. Because remember, Jax and I guess at the end Kane are the only ones who've gotten actual major developments that were the main focus of the narrative. The only thing most of the others have is, well,
I feel like Kane is kind of like didn't really develop. He just kind of just became different. He's just like, I'm back now and I'm different.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm sorry.
I'm really, really sorry now.
You know what's sad is we're all putting out these video essays and we're all putting out these big think pieces. And what's going to happen is people are going to they're going to take all this and they're all going to say the same thing in like a couple years. Digital Circus was bad. It was never good, blah, blah, blah. And like, everyone hates it. Look at all these video essays talking about how bad it is. And it's really sad to say, actually, I think most of these video essayists are really big fans. They're just as sad as we are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, the reason why they're making them a lot, I think in this situation, the reason why they're making them is because they were fans and, they had the same conclusion that it is turned out to be one big therapy session for the main creator.
Yeah, and it's very, very selfish to drag all these people along with your gender crash out. Yeah, what's up?
Essentially, yeah.
Oh shit, I'll be right back.
The problem. Exum Legum says, "Hail Litcan, hail Floating Stew, hail Best Chuds. Hello to you, Exum Legum. Welcome.
That might be part of what held it back for me, since, like I said at the start, Goose knows how to make a scene hit, whether it's through great music or framing or some killer symbolism. But now that I think about it, most of those moments in Digital Circus come off kind of forced. Like the entire episodes they came from were all about setting up those moments. They don't feel like the natural endpoint of stories or wherever they're supposed to be from. They feel like scenes Goose knew would be powerful when they happened, but hadn't quite planned out the setup for when she came up with them. So divorced from anything else, they're powerful and stick with you after the show, but in context, they're sort of clunky or less deep than they think they are. Like, did Kinger and Pomni walking through the hall really warrant this beautiful piano ballad like it's this moving, impactful scene? Does Pomni leaving the void with Gummy Goo deserve this ethereal track while they smile like they've been on a journey together? Shit, even the end of the pilot seems a bit sudden for its grand revelatory statement about Pomni being forced to embrace the madness. But maybe that's my problem. I can never get caught up in the grandness of it. To me, it's always just been Goose's first attempt at a show, and she got better as she went. There's some real marked improvements in the dialogue, tension, developments, and direction, especially in the last few episodes, but that first half really taints the second in ways that highlight the show's issues as a whole the longer it goes on. Problems with focus, payoff, meaningful screen time, conflict and resolution. I want to give Goose the credit she deserves for this, since she clearly channeled a bunch of themes through shit she dealt with personally, and there's a lot to commend in that vulnerability, but I think the best thing I can do as someone who's loved her work for as long as I have is to be fully honest about how I feel and hope it can do something to help her in whatever project she decides to do next, since I know she's got way more to offer the world with her weird brand of creativity. Whether that's something big or small, I don't know. She's probably not hankering for this level of stressful popularity again anytime soon, but it's hard to think a mind like hers would slow down even if it's a factor. I didn't think this show was amazing, but I'm hopeful for the future.
But it was digital. I have to say, it did a really good job of being digital. There we go, chat. There's the amazing digital letdown. And I rechecked it, chat. We are still $38 away from Pillarman of the day. We got it. We had a $16 head start too. So a little bit more. We've seen a little bit more to get to the goal of the day. But anyway, I have this other video that I wanted to cover too. Don't worry, it's by the real life fake wizard. So check it out. It's going over the very true fact that Hollywood hates religion. They just hate it. They just want to demonize it. They want to tear it to pieces. They hate you for being any flavor of religion or conservative or whatever it might be. Lord Dragon says, "Hey guys, real question: should I get Crunchyroll? I mean, if you watch anime a lot, I would say so, because they get a lot of anime in, a lot of like the popular stuff too, and it's not that expensive compared, typically speaking. Anyway, check it out.
I'm the real life fake wizard. On June 12th, 2026, Steven Spielberg released a movie called Disclosure Day, and the week before it came out, he went on CBS Sunday Morning and told the entire world that this alien movie might break your faith. Those are his words, more or less. But this movie might make people question their faith. This film...
What are we watching?
That if
It's the a real life fake wizard made a video about how Hollywood hates faith, Christians, and Jesus Christ, which is pretty accurate as far as I know.
They 100% do. They don't even fucking hide it.
Yeah, in fact, they kind of like worship Satan. They just out where they go, yeah, I love Satan.
Yeah, these Moloch people. Yeah, absolutely.
They, like, okay, Jesus is not real, but I love Satan. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
the devil is real.
Yeah, if anything ever tells you that evil exists, it's these fucking freaks that will go in Hollywood and say, yeah, you worshiping Jesus is for suckers, but they come off like actual Christian PSA villains.
Yeah, like legitimately, they're like this, almost like you think that, oh yeah, these hyper religious people always make the Christians, I mean, they make the atheists and Hollywood guys overtly evil, but no, they're really like that.
Yeah.
That's comically evil. Anyway, Stu, have you ever seen Knights of Guinevere?
No.
I plan to watch, if we reached our goal this week, I plan to stream that as well.
Okay.
It's only one pilot so far.
It's only a pilot? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you asking me to watch it with you, or are you just asking?
Do you want to? Do you want to watch?
I think I'm down. It comes down to what my availability is, but
sounds good. Good. Check it out.
I could barely get through a fucking morning nonsense live stream without being interrupted. I love my life, but god damn it, once in a while it is really inconvenient.
Really hectic. Mm-hmm. It's a megalathon. Thanks to the $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Megalathon. Holy shit. Says it's funny for two government girlfriends. I also came up with a character that's the death of the eye and a continued consciousness. Been super fun to write about, but it's been tricky to get the balance just right. And that's just one character. Yeah, sometimes it is like we want to get the personalities, and because dialogue, as I always say, is the final boss of writing. You can get everything else right, spot on.
Yeah,
but dialogue is rough. It is tough. It's tough to get. That's probably your final obstacle, is to get it right.
Because there's two paths to take. You can take the self-indulgent smart way, or you can take the good author way and keep your dialogue precise and short,
Yeah. Or you could have them just talk forever. Just have them talk forever and see. But thank you much, Megalithon. But yeah, you're right. Just getting the characterization right is tough because then you got to get the characterization right, and then you got to get the dialogue right. And it is rough. It is really rough. But thank you much, Megalithon.
The government got up tomorrow and admitted they'd been hiding aliens in the basement since 1947. It would psychologically impact people negatively. On the surface, that's fine, right? Like that would make for a good movie on its own. And having seen the film, yes, this very much discusses the discussion people would have over the discovery of Little Green.
It's just Chewy there, like, yeah, that sounds good, right? That's pretty based.
During the film, there are these small moments of Christian iconography appearing and questions being asked by protagonists, like, if there are aliens, can God be real?
Yes.
It's pretty easy, actually.
I know that was I didn't know that was an actual question people asked. If that God can be real, yes.
Evidently, now I will to some credit, way back when the Catholic Church used to say that aliens can't be real. I do know that was a thing that's some influential person said at one point. But now Catholic priests are like, yeah, let's give those aliens some Jesus and we're good with them.
I mean, that'd be my answer. Like, okay, what do we do with fight aliens? Connection with religion. Convert them to Christianity. Duh.
Get those fellas. Or what if they come down and they're like, oh yeah, Jesus, we love that guy.
Yeah, it looks like they're also Christian.
Yeah, they come down. It's like, oh, Jesus, dude, that guy is awesome. Like,
that's why we're here. We heard you like Jesus too. So.
Yeah, we sent that guy off on a giant party. Like, how did you guys send him off? Uh-oh. Well, he was killed by his family. He what? Well, not his family, but his clan. But that's
like, I see. That's where they went.
Oh, it's them. All right, they're here too. Like the aliens are talking to each other. They're here too. It's like, wait, those guys are aliens? Yeah, they look nothing like you. Why did you think they're?
That'd be pretty cool in like Game of Thrones if like the Targaryens are aliens in that one. Because like I remember that one in the Duncan Egg stories. Like this, he's like they're weird aliens that have ravaged our land, and like that'd be kind of interesting. Like bring in sci-fi. It's like the Targaryens are aliens. That's why they can breed with their sisters and stuff. And see, Agile Aardvark says C.S. Lewis wrote in space series in the 40s. I think. I mean the retro futurism is awesome. I really like retro futurism. I think it's more like it might be the 60s, but I swore it was around there too. But yeah, retrofuturism is pretty cool.
Well, the reason it's very cool is because it's a time of optimism. Like it came out at a time where we believed like the future was bright, and that's why it feels good to look at like the Jetsons or whatever.
Yeah, the Jetsons was pretty awesome too. It's kind of like they have it kind of feels modern day. But futuristic. It's kind of like the first version of Futurama, but not as crass.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more down to earth because it's just like it's a future. We have all this stuff happening, and the main character George Jetson is still like 9 to 5. Got to go to work. Yes, Mr. Spacely.
Is his name Mr. Spacely? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Spacely Sprockets. I forgot what his first name is, but yeah, his name is Mr. Spacely, and his plankton is Cogswell or Cogsworth or something like I think it's Cogswell Cosmic Cogs. It's pretty funny. He was like the Flintstones but in space. But I just like we're in the Jurassic era or the caveman era, and he still has like a 9 to 5 that he goes to. It's just modern day, but it's really funny. It's really funny the way they do it.
In the same way in the Bible, but these are surface level questions that usually don't have clear answers that would arise in the midst of an alien reveal to the public. That is relatable, yes. It's certainly not something that, well, had you not seen Spielberg's interview, you wouldn't think twice about. You could see this movie, and it's just a very mediocre sci-fi movie. It is not good, but as soon as you listen to the phrasing,
when Spielberg's like, my alien movie is going to cause these guys to question their faith or something like that. Okay, your fictional movie. All right.
Mm-hmm.
and framing from the people who made the movie, it recontextualizes the entire film. See, now instead of just
that's right. I think the Jetsons have a 4-day work week that goes from 10 to 3.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, so I do remember that now. Yeah, they kind of mentioned that because I think they go back in time or whatever, and like you work 5 days a week.
Another alien movie.
You would not want to know how much I work.
It's like 7 days a week. Somehow 8 days a week.
We have to look at it through the lens of someone who knowingly and thoughtfully planned and placed all these Christian references in the film to convey a very specific kind of message. A message that would result in Christian men and women questioning their faith. Okay, you got Spielberg here, you got Universal money, you got Emily Blunt and Colin Firth in your leads. You gotta have something good to really pull this thing off, right? I mean, hey, we're taking on Christianity here. We really gotta deliver the goods in such a way that faith doesn't stand a chance. We gotta nail this guy to a cross, you know what I mean? Oh no, this movie, it's a pile of crap. You see, if you're Hollywood, and you want to make a film that challenges Christians or faith or Christ himself, firstly, daring today, aren't we, Hollywood? You're going to do that with any other world religions? But secondly, and more importantly, it might be more effective to release something that is actually good. You know, like if you really want to get those silly Christians and you want to take down Mr. JC, you want to take down the king? You don't miss.
Yeah, you better not miss.
Taking shots at Christianity is not a new thing. It's been happening for over 2,000 years. But through the lens of the Hollywood media system, if you're to look at it through...
As the aliens show up, there's like, the Pope called us. We are on a new crusade.
You know what's so funny? The only reason I'm even interested in Christianity right now is because, you know, Hollywood has been demonizing it for the last, 100 years.
The other side has been so evil that aligning with Christianity is just the smart thing to do.
Yeah. That's been my whole shtick, for a while. Is this like, hey, yeah, everything sucks, and things didn't suck as much when everybody went to church. Why don't we all go back to church for a bit? And then you get this violent fucking reaction from these weirdos and freaks, and you're like, oh damn, demons exist. Holy shit. I thought you all were playing because I was playing around. What is wrong with you?
Nope, they're actually people who are just comically evil.
Isn't that nuts?
So confident about it.
And again too, they think that you are just as bad as them. They have this idea in their head, they'll proudly, again, when Charlie Kirk was shot, they would I was like, wow, Charlie Kirk got shot. I never heard of this guy. He's like, good, he's a fascist Nazi, blah blah blah, you know, all that stuff. And I just sat there and I was just bewildered. You know, I took psychic damage from that shit. You know?
Yeah, it's like this people just completely evil, and I had no qualms or had any ill feelings about all these people getting fired over celebrating his death, because you made these weapons.
Yeah,
we don't have to hold back because you made these weapons.
Yeah, and we had to hear for years how it's like, hey, yeah, they're canceling conservatives on Twitter. Oh, well, Twitter is a private company.
It's fine. It's a private company. They can do what they want. It's fine. Yeah. So, I didn't bat an eye. I celebrated their firings because they made these rules. They can live by them. All right. It's a Dave Musselman. In fact, we should do it again. We should get more of these guys fired. And say, Dave Musselman, thanks for $20 super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Where is it? Where's the prop? There we go. Holy shit. Thank you much, Dave Musselman. Is that a heretic? Their urge to crusade is escalating. Exactly. I mean, I kind of wish the Pope would just call crusades.
Well,
but, he Muslims more than he likes Christians. So
he did de-hereticalize the Inquisition. So
the interesting sign of the times.
Yeah, we get an American Pope and he re-legalizes fucking Inquisitions, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
I like to think that he de-hereticalized the Inquisition while eating a deep dish pizza. That'd be the most American thing,
right?
But deep dish pizza from he made an Italian cook or chef make him an American style deep dish pizza, and it tasted a little bit better because of the tears that went into it.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's sweet, Chad. By the way, Chad, by the way, we are now $2 away. We almost got there, Chad. We almost got to Pillarman today. We're just $2 away, but still $2 away.
I didn't believe in Jesus until I casually spoke about it and suddenly almost demon-possessed people popped out of the woodwork like his name alone is holy water. No, it is. The fact that these people react so violently to Jesus, but they're not threatened by Buddha, they're not threatened by, any of these other names. It's just
Jesus. Yeah. It's kind of, they react the same way like that demons react in movies. Like it's pretty accurate, pretty on point. Jesus and it's like the sun sizzling a vampire.
Yeah, they freak out so hard, and it's always violent too. It's always like over dramatic. It's always overplayed, and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why is it that painful for you to discuss something that you don't agree with? I discuss shit I don't agree with all the time, and I'm not freaking the fuck out. I'm not some, crash out loser. So why are you behaving that way? And why is it suddenly acceptable? Oh, something social justice, something equity. And it's like, no, all right, you don't matter. You're an idiot.
Exactly.
A clinical, more academic lens, which is what I'm going to attempt to do for this discussion. It's interesting to study because there are very clear patterns, and those patterns usually render down to the writer, director, producer, and or creatives involved having a bone to pick with Christianity for one reason or another. Open up any streaming app, any theater listing, any given month of any given year, and you will find something releasing that attacks, antagonizes, hijacks, interrogates, or just flat out steals from.
I cannot believe they made another Hocus Pocus. That was insane to me. And they made another Hocus Pocus. Like, why? Stop it. Stop it now.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get help. Actually, this is why they hate Christian Paladin Trap Astolfo. And it's just he might be a femboy in a trap or whatever, but like he's also a paladin.
He is a child of Christ. How dare you? How dare you besmirch the holy Astolfo's name?
Exactly.
With your words like femboy and trap. How dare you besmirch his good name? Whatever.
Besmirch.
Christianity, every genre, horror, sci-fi, action, prestige, drama, the kids stuff, it is constant. And once you start noticing it like,
you can't do that. Don't start noticing things. It's a Megathon next to Fight the Chats is a two Paul and Alex Halo for two different girlfriends. I'm using a third person perspective, so I can keep my dialogue short but have internal monologue. Yeah, you want the peak of perspective people usually want to. You're kind of going to be advised to go with is going to be third person limited. The third person unlimited is crazy. You can do it, but third person limited is kind of usually your go-to when writing something.
Sometimes it's subtle, and other times
unless it's going to be first person.
It's very loud. You can't unnotice it. Media is used to challenge Christianity, but to do that, they must target different aspects of Christianity to be most effective. Disclosure Day is only swinging at one of those targets, whereas other movies might swing at one or two different targets. I believe there are three. Target one is the people, the Christians themselves, the believers as human beings. These are the people who are often seen in Western media as hateful, bigoted, low IQ individuals who are backward thinking and are meant to be perceived as either antagonistic towards a story's protagonists or an obstacle meant to be ridiculed by the audience. Some examples here would be Kingsman, the Secret Service, where the congregation is built as a pack of...
there's no reason for this entire scene. It's like the most violent scene in the movie, and there's no reason for it whatsoever. There's these churchgoers have nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. They're just like religious and hateful or whatever. And of course, fake, Christian. It can't possibly be any other religion because I'm against religion, but I will never ever critique any other religion besides Christianity. See, again, it's just Jesus.
Yeah, and it's so funny.
Only Jesus.
Oh, guys, you're going to be so happy because I recently went out to dinner with a bunch of young kids, and they're all like, You know, it's like, I'm respectful of all religions, but you know, blah 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 blah. And there is no like, or I'll say like, oh, you know, I've been openly saying it's like, oh no, I believe in Jesus and Christ and stuff now. They're like, yeah, we respect you for doing that, but like it's, you know, no one can prove it's true. And I said, I like, are those? I don't remember what they say. They say something along the line. The spirit of what they're saying is, that's fine. I'm choosing not to believe in it, or I'm choosing not to believe in the God. And I said, I don't need you to believe in the God. I need you to believe in the people, because look outside. Do you see those skyscrapers outside? Guess who built that? It's those freaking Christians that you just have no trust in. Yeah. And if they, over the course of a couple centuries, were able to do that, just like imagine like that's the important part. And they just sat there and they're like, damn. You know, their mind is completely blown. Once you actually start introducing logic and like optimism and optimizations towards these people, like Christianity is the correct way to go.
Oh, definitely. It just there's so much stuff that the Christians have done. It's just so much that everyone just kind of wants to focus on. Oh no, they don't like gay marriage, but look at all this other stuff they've done. Yeah, but they're mean. And they have expectations of people. That's that, and they don't validate my feelings.
Yeah, and no, again, that's what they do. They get so fucking mad if you don't validate their feelings. I'm not ready to talk about this just yet, but my disciple quit, and yeah, she went on. She got mad at me because I would not quote validate her feelings, because she started telling people that the night about Charlie Kirk, you remember that? Yeah. That night she started telling people it was an interrogation, and I told her, and I've been telling people it's what is it? It's not interrogation.
Inquisition.
No. Intervention. Like when you are openly calling for the deaths of people who do not deserve it. That is like a inquisition or not inquisition. God damn it. An intervention is like appropriate, right? And like she said, like that was one of the worst nights of her life because she felt cornered by her friends and family. And I'm like, yeah, that's a valid thing to feel, but you understand that the only reason we did that is that you were violently calling for the deaths of other people. And she admits that too, but she just wouldn't let it the fuck go. You know,
no one expects the Stewish Inquisition.
Yeah, like she kept freaking out every time I tried to like offer any kind of help. It's like, you already like ruined my emotional health or some bullshit.
Oh,
and I'm
geez.
like, yeah, no, like there was a point where I was just like, no, I am not like I'm not going to validate your feelings when you don't deserve to feel like validated. Like
did you ever see that clip of Sam Hyde where he's like talking to the devil? He's like, so I sell my soul to suck dick? Yes, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. It's like, and then the devil goes, what good is your soul? Like, who are you? And he's like, I don't know. Like, who are you that I need to validate your feelings?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
No, that's what it is like she wanted me to like prostrate myself as if I had done some great evil, and that her emotions were the most valuable thing. And you know, she quit, and then she started crashing out to my other employees, and my other employees just blocked her. Like they all just blocked her. And there's a point where like I'm sad about it, but also I did everything I could, man.
Yeah,
like,
this is countless hours just kind of trying to work through this.
Yeah, I lost literal days of my life just trying to manage her crash outs. And there's a point where I'm just kind of like grateful that she left because now I have this time to play Stardew Valley.
You have to expend so much emotional labor, Stu. Let's see. Guy says thanks to 58 support, says the power of Christ compels you. Exactly. Something that compels you to build pyramids and build gigantic skyscrapers.
Yeah. Now, if you want to talk about like, yeah, Egypt made all these wonderful things too. Yeah, but there was a different time, different place, different kind of thing. But also Egypt, they built like really big, important stuff and really valuable things, but they didn't build the skyscraper, did they? And they're also not around today either. So, I think classic ancient Egyptian culture is not the way to go right now.
Yeah, to go by the canon of the Bible, they got owned by God because just annihilated into like, okay, I'll let all my slaves free.
That's Old Testament. I don't really put a lot of stock into those particular stories because, it was it's been written by a particular group of people.
Elizabeth chooses the first international monologue third dialogue standard. No, usually the monologues are going to be first person. Usually you're going to if you're writing prose, it's going to be third person limited. I mean, it can be first person, but a monologue is given by you, so given by a character. So this kind of what happens when your character delivers a speech. It's going to be I probably or whatever. Soliloquy is kind of one of those things. So Shakespeare had these in his plays, or to be or not to be, one of those things. So when you have that, even if you're writing a third person limited and your character gives a monologue or soliloquy, they're going to write it. You're going to write it in first person because they're going to be speaking it. It just makes sense. But yeah, and Kingsman, like, there's no reason for the scene. It's just to hate on Christians. That's the only reason. And people are like, yeah, kill all those Christians. Yeah, those bigots.
Racist, homophobic hate mongers to be used as cannon fodder in an action set piece. They are there in the plot specifically and only to be brutally murdered after the writers told the audience these are bad people and so deserve to be murdered anyway. Another example would be The Boys. Christians, and I would say Muslims too, to a different extent, are caricatures in The Boys' world. The Boys sees Christians as low IQ.
Because The Boys the show is all about destroying and tearing down heroes and traditions and everything that made America great and history great, all the good things that their dads liked. America, I love my God, I love my country. The Charlie from Smiling Friends, I love my friends, I love my God, I love my country. They want to tear all that down. That's kind of the epitome of The Boys. And see, Stu, there is a Bible verse that advises that what you are talking about, if a person is not willing to listen and take in what you say, you let them go. Dust them off your them off your sandals. Also, this is kind of what Jordan Peterson said. If someone is not going to listen to you, don't talk to them.
No, you're right. But again, we are in a world that is horribly corrupt. We are at a point of potentially no return. If Elon Musk had not bought Twitter, Western society would have collapsed, like straight up.
It wouldn't crazy. Because then there'll be no outlet for truth.
Yeah. And thanks to him, we now have a second chance. I am going to take that second chance and I'm going to drag everyone out of the apocalypse. I don't fucking care what it's going to take in terms of like your emotional discomfort. I will drag you people into the future and we will have paradise again. Like we had it at one point. And when I say you people, I don't mean chat. Y'all are on my side. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't by you people.
But like I do like have employees who just have like this really fucking negative ass attitude all the time. And I'm basically on them and I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up. No, you have an amazing life. You work for two autistic weirdos who sell body pillows for a living and we pay you good money to do it. Like, cheer the fuck up. Where else can you do that?
Literally nowhere.
Yeah. They're like, well, what about China and all that stuff? And I'm like, yeah, there's
about China.
Yeah, what about China? Who the fuck cares? And on top of that, too.
Do you live in China?
Yeah. Like, shut. And it's always what about? Like, I remember one time, one of my, again, this is the disciple again. She had a, oh, damn. I forgot to give Krobus a present. That's on me. Until you get into your kinks. Yeah, no. That's fine. You're and again, too, the fact that I have to be the adult here is what infuriates me. I am the creepy, kinky threesome guy. And why is it that I'm dragging people back to Christianity? Why can't it be like why can't it be like Charlie, you know, Moist Critical? Why can't it be someone good? Why is it people? Why is it freaks like me and Asmongold who are the ones telling people, no, you need to go back to church right fucking now. Like, you need to eject these ideas from your life, get this shit out of here, and like wake the hell up. Why are we the ones doing this? Why aren't our leaders doing it? You know?
Exactly. But yeah, it's just but that is crazy. If people are, that's why I like. That's why I did like about Amazing Digital Circus. It is about going from, oh, we're depressed, we're hopeless, and really like, what if you kind of accept where you are? What really is so bad? You get basically infinite food. You don't have to sleep. You don't have to eat. You can if you want to. You're taking. There's no like real danger to you anymore, and you have a DM who's willing to like do whatever it takes to entertain you.
Yeah.
This is unbearable, apparently. But anyway, I think we're gonna stop there for today and go to stream memes.
All right, I'll be right back. Yep, I'll finish up stream memes with you too.
Let's see. And see here. All right, chat. We're gonna go ahead and go to stream memes chat, but we did make it to Pillarman. So here we go. Low your volume, raise your volume, whatever you prefer. And let's see. Loud clip incoming. Pillarman and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes, best shit is in gods of fitness at the good eating gods of fitness will bless us this wonderful day. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's see. Get this here. Let's see here. All right, chat. Will Spain, this too says, Stu needs to have people watch Passion of the Christ. Oh, yeah. I think it's Will Spade. Ben Parker says, Litav, it's time to call the stream. Come on, stream. Let's go, stream. Come on. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the Daria. This is Brown Trebet Wilkins on game day. Merry Christmas. Let's see. Geology rocks, but geography is where it's at. Secondhand store. Luke needs to go to the secondhand store. Let's see. Let's see. All right. 1 second here, chat. All right. All right. What's this? Is this like what live action Final Fantasy 7? You know what? This is kind of accurate if it's made by America. It's kind of accurate. This is Dolph Lundgren. And see, then I think Lando Calrissian. Shit. They're gating on us. We gotta jettison some weight. Throw all the stolen boomerangs out. We don't need them. On it, boss. Bad news, boss. They came back. Daddy, how was work? It's like the robot from Smiling Friends. Lousy stinking humans. If I have to count the R's in strawberry one more time, Wifebot, get me 500 gallons of water. Daddy, look, I made a painting. It's like slop. Let's see. This is probably there's freedom after the upgrade. And see, error. I noticed a TDSC 9. You can see Gangle and Zubal's room in this scene, but they haven't appeared yet.
Okay. I felt so like I understood Goose so hard here. Like,
damn it.
Yeah, God. Yeah, no. I don't think anyone's gonna hold that against him, but it's just very funny. Like I understand that completely.
Continuity error. Let's see. We're back. So the research for the next, so the exit really did a number on you, huh? No, actually, the last straw was realizing I've been the third wheel the whole time. So everything went back to normal. Then, yeah, Ribbit starts killing Jax. Hey, Jax, sorry I'm late. I was doing stuff. It's okay. I am stuff. Oh my gosh, Ribbit, no. Ha, Pomni, you are banging my girlfriend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are you idiots looking at? Is there someone on my something on my face? What is this?
Tumblr.
That Tumblr?
Yeah.
This Tumblr's creeping up on him. And see, I can't stand this asshole. Oh my god, I understand her. Yeah, just all you gotta do is put a bow on it, and it's fine. Everything, all is forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
It's a. Oh yeah, here we go. Stu needs to have people watch Passion of the Christ. You want to work for me? Watch this first.
That's not gonna do anything. Like I know it's a joke. I know it's a joke, but like
this makes so much sense. By the way, this is artist. All right, you got the hips, but now.
To be honest, the hips all you need. Like that's the important part. You just because that's the part you grab.
I mean, yeah, it's like okay, yeah, but now, I mean, you already got the hips. You might as well add on the cake. It's a. This is your fault. This is kind of like every discussion in Major Jill Circus. It's not your fault. That you can't have your characters tell us how they feel. That makes you feel angry. There you go. Therapy sessions. Let's see. It's not your fault. What? It's not. Oh, you remember this? This is exactly how it goes. I guess every millennial watched Family Guy and just found one retarded section to make their entire personality. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. This is a Major Jill Circus. And Hasbro Hotel is the like every millennial found a portion of Family, a retarded portion of Family Guy to make their entire artistic personality. And see,
I mean, considering I'm going to be real, Loading Crew Crafts is named that because of Seth MacFarlane. like I named it that because Seth named his animation company after something from his school. So when I grew up, I was like, I want it to be something from my school. And when I was in school, I was part of the loading crew that moved instruments in and out of the trailer. So people were like, hey, the loading crew, we need you. And I'm just like, it was always me and my friends. And we're just like, let's form a company.
It's called Loading Crew Crafts. Sounds pretty cool. There's 32 month sports of Stu. Remember the origins of lemons.
I'm gonna need you to clarify that one for me because I'm kind of lost on this one.
Stu, remember the O-rings of lemons. This was the best episode. Obviously, the gun episode, the best episode ever of Amazing Digital Circus. They have like a Thompson with a drum barrel, very based.
Mm-hmm.
And this image. Let's see. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Let's see. Why am I here? You know why. I fucking hate you and hope you die. I love adventure. Pander to troons. They turn on you. Pander to it's like an endless cycle. They will always turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get nothing and like it. Exactly. Not angry, just disappointed. Marge, I'm confused. Is this a happy ending or a sad ending? It's an ending. That's enough. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here's what's going to happen. Like, the alien's going to come down. Like, we're here to convert you to Jesus Christ.
You understand that as soon as we get like an actual alien in a nun outfit, that's it for the internet. We're going to be nuns for like a decade.
Exactly.
It's gonna be nothing but alien nun porn for a while.
Roger, meet Jesus. An alien. One of my father's side projects.
That's right.
There's a Spacely. Then I don't. Let's see. Then there's that would be really convenient. Your car folds up into your suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And like she just steals his entire wallet, and he's like, no. See, in the show, she just takes the entire wallet and goes away. But they had like a version of it where he's like, no, wait, think you're doing taking my entire wallet. See, I just like how back in the old days you could show the wife like this, where she's just like, yeah, she's just there to spend the husband's money.
Mm-hmm.
Daring today, aren't we? In my story, the church is actually evil. Daring today, aren't we? The space pope. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. And say the power of Christ compels you out of this house. What is this? Faith? Hacksaw Ridge was good. Hacksaw Ridge was insane because they actually, there's so many like miracles that happen in the real life version of this event that they had to cut some out of the movie because it would seem too cheesy. Like there's like one story where like the Japanese sniper that was shooting them, every time he would aim at the main character, his gun would jam. But when he aimed at any other soldier, it would work. But only when he aimed at the main character would his gun jam. It actually happened. They couldn't put out the movie because that sounds like they made that up. It sounds like it'd be too unbelievable. Why do you have so many pictures of me on your phone? And see, why are you gay? King of the Hill. And see, Blue Exorcist. Prince of Egypt is a good movie. I like that one. Christ, my heart is yours. The Paladin. Astolfo the Paladin. Even Spider-Man needs Jesus. Fist of the North Star. It's just Jesus. What is this? Sir, this is a Catholic sub. Why do you post Ultraman memes here? Because Catholics should be like Ultraman, a source of hope in a dark world, using great power for good, believes in humanity, and asks for the help of previous season's Ultras. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. We're going to go ahead and end the stream for a day. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you much Stu for joining me today, and thank you much Best Chat for always being Best Chat. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. So, and of course, next time.
On a cold winter morning in the time before the light, in flames of death's eternal reign, we ride towards the fight. When the darkness has fallen down,